1.
Hi!
You do it right?
You almost counted down. I mean, good
I
job.
always forget that this part is silent.
Yeah.
It makes your ground control to Major Tom karaoke really fun, though.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Club. One of
you
these
got
cameras
Bowie
is
stuck in my
mine.
head.
Thank you very much. We're all a little loopy this week, but we are also tremendously excited because, as I have been loudly telling everyone, it is our 2nd annual Pride Month episode.
Woo!
Please note my inference that we will be doing this for the rest of time. I assume you're all on board for that.
Yeah, it's probably a safe.
We're here.
Probably a safe assumption.
I have enough rainbow T-shirts to last at least three more episodes at the
Nice
moment.
shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Also, just nice
Yeah,
shirts, all right.
thank you.
But
I mean, mine's just black.
it's good though.
Don't be
Thank
talking
you.
about the rainbow shirt rule, guys.
No, don't worry. I work here and I didn't know about it.
I know.
All right.
So it's a secret conversation.
So we are going to be talking about some great comics today, and we have an extremely exciting, very special guest.
Taliesin.
Shut up. Don't make me embarrassed.
If you would introduce yourself for
Yeah.
folks at home.
I don't know which one should I talk. Okay. Hi, guys.
There you go.
Babs Tarr. I'm a comic artist. I did Batgirl for DC Comics for 3 years, and right now I'm working on Motor Crush, which is a creator-owned book that
Yeah.
we're going to chat about today, hopefully.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me. Hi.
So that's all on deck for today. But first, a word from our beautiful corner people.
No, look at that. Right. Hold on.
Thank you. I
Right,
can't read
right,
this from
really
here.
hard
We're
to do,
messing
'cause
you
it,
guys
like,
up.
mirrors you.
Yeah, it's
Nope, that's under.
here it is. It's
That's-
that's the table. This is really hard.
Welcome to Depth Perception.
There. No, I'm not even in it. It's there. You can see it. I just did it accidentally. All right.
So huge thank you to Comixology Originals. Tell us what Comixology Originals are, please.
Comixology Unlimited Originals. If you are a member of Prime, Kindle Unlimited, or Comixology Unlimited, then you can read for free the Comixology Originals. The one that we want to highlight this week is Elephant Men 2261. I'm guessing it's a year. The Death of Shorty. This is written by Richard Starkings with art by Axel Medellin.
Look at that.
Yeah, this is a long-running
it's so
series. They've been
amazing.
publishing at Image for a long time, and they're doing new original stories with Comixology. And what's interesting, I thought this was cool, the originals all have different formats. So the one we profiled 2 weeks ago was an original graphic novel. Last week was a bingeable 5-part series that was all available, and this one's actually coming out monthly.
Which is the first
There you go.
original that we're talking about that's doing that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Look at that.
That's so amazing.
Also,
What amazing
Just like
art.
side note, I met Richard Starking. He's like the coolest, sweetest, nicest dude ever.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's really
That's
cool.
good to hear.
Like he helps like organize a con called Thought Bubble in England, and he helps. He participates. And like he drove me from the airport out to like an hour into Leeds, which is like a little bit really far away. We got to bond, and he's like a really cool dude.
Does he have like a really cool British accent and everything?
Yes. And
Now I'm in love with him.
GPS that's like Homer Simpson that just tells him where to go and what to do.
If he makes a wrong turn, does it go, don't?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all it really needs.
That's all it really needs.
So he's awesome.
That's
Check out
fantastic.
Elephant Man.
So Elephant Man, I just want to read this copy because I think it's pretty fun. It's described by J.J. Abrams as an awesome and unexpected story. You must check it out, and it's lauded by Andy Serkis as bold, mythic, and heartbreakingly cool. Starking's universe is a breed apart. And it's a continuation, like we said, of the Elephant Man comics. 5 issues. Free to read if you're a member of Amazon Prime, Kindle Unlimited, or Comixology Unlimited. And the print edition will be available on Amazon later.
Well, that's what's so cool is they're also doing on-demand printing. They're kind of blowing my mind right now. Comixology.
Yeah, Comixology is really, really, really kind of starting to own the game, which is so cool to see.
And thanks for your support.
And thank you for your support. Yeah, we read a lot of our comics on Comixology, so.
I sold a couple Flash graphic novels to someone in the building today on Comixology.
Good work. Good work.
So we have a bunch of stuff to get through tonight. We all sort of picked out some things we wanted to talk about. But before we get into our topic proper, I think we have some Daily Wednesday.
Ooh.
Do we have graphics? Other graphics? Maybe they're not graphics. Then I've just
I
put
can
everybody
act it out.
Imagine the letter column.
There we go.
There.
Yeah.
I'm so
like
insane.
sweet sounds.
There are sweet.
Yeah, there's.
Nice. Okay, good.
It's a machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the A-team?
Explode.
It's that.
Is that what's
Yeah.
happening?
I just
No, it's the
delayed
A-team.
processed that whole thing.
Yeah, it's the A-team is da 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 da
I actually
da.
called sound effects to go with those animations.
And then Howling Mad Murdoch comes in and he's like, oh, Hannibal, we gotta watch out.
Is there a howling Matt Murdock in 18?
No, Howling Mad Murdoch.
Oh,
Howling Mad
okay,
Murdoch.
I've
Because he's
heard the other thing.
howling mad.
There would be a Howling Matt Murdoch would also be. That would be a
Yeah,
whole
that would be a whole
That would be
other
just
The
whole other
Avengers team, they
episode.
could actually do an 18. That would be. Never mind. Getting off topic. Never. Yeah.
So we figured we can't be a comic book show without a letter column. So this is our letter column.
All right, let's hear
The
it.
Daily Wind. The fans named it.
And we have a You Can Read This on Air for Dear Amy, Matt, and Taliesin. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. My name is Jess. Jessie R. Leaf on Twitter. Jessie L.R. Leaf on Twitter. And I want to just quickly say thank you for reigniting my passion for comics. Though sparse at times, I've been reading and drawing comics since my mother first dropped a stack of Betty and Veronica's solo issues in elementary school.
That's the stuff.
Every so often, I'd pick up the odd manga or solo Avengers collection stolen from my brother's bookshelf, but your show put comics back on my radar, leading me to delve so much further into a culture I'd just been scraping the surface of. I'm going to try to get through this without clasping my microphone in emotion. Let's see if we can do it. I was watching live the day you had Mark Andreyko on to discuss Love is Love. That was last year's Pride episode, which was a real good, very emotional
And
time.
we'll have Andreyko on a future episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's already started talking to us about coming back on.
Oh, okay. And I can't express enough how gratifying it was to have both Taliesin and Amy, two people who I've looked up to for 3 years, come out on air.
Yeah.
It's hard to find those who go by the B in the LGBT plus community, and to have two of my role models identify the same way I do brought tears to my eyes. Thank you for sharing that with us. It means so much to me and so many others in the community. In honor of that episode and the show's continued support of the LGBT plus community, thank you. What do I do with my hands? I have included a few pieces of artwork so that we can continue to #make it gayer. That's what it says. It was
Love
easy
it.
to decide on who I'd pair Amy and Matt with, but I was having the toughest time with Taliesin. Luckily, I saw him at the WonderCon Alpha party and was able to glean an answer.
Oh, wow.
I think I know what
Yeah.
this is. I think I know what this
It
is
is
now.
because
Side note, in parentheses, Amy, I will never forget your face when I showed you the work in progress of your piece at the party. It still fills me with joy. Get ready, because I think I know what's under this paper. I hope I can see all of you at Gen Con this summer, including Matt this time.
It's a strong possibility.
Woo! And I look forward to even more episodes of my favorite show where two queer nerds listen to their friend gush endlessly about the magic man he's in love with while his wife watches from behind the cameras. It says that. I'm not making that up.
#make it gayer. Well done.
Oh, we need to have her on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Chief, producer Liz, and the rest of the crew who help put on such an amazing show each week.
Woo!
Hearts all around, and shout out to Miss Sunflower and all the other wonderful Wednesdays out there. Remember, you can always #make it gayer. With poodles of gay love, Jess R.
Jess, thank you. Oh, it is.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, it is
Here we go,
those.
guys.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
excited.
Here we go. Well, yep.
Oh,
Here.
yeah.
Number one.
Oh, I love it.
Hot,
I can't stand it. I'm
Yep.
so happy.
And I love, but here's my favorite thing about this one. Amy is drinking coffee while Wonder Woman has the heart. Like Wonder
I
Woman's
look
like,
so confident.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
you're like, oh, Diana.
Here.
Yeah, you're,
I'm clearly insane. But
oh, me? I'm just Amy Dallen. Hey, what's up, Diana? It's
this is a
cool.
normal morning.
This is a normal breakfast. Whatevs.
Oh.
And next up,
Yep.
we have
So amazing.
Yeah, I've cosplayed that character. That's definitely.
And
That's just you and you.
yeah.
Nothing
and
true.
you.
Yeah, that's.
these are exquisitely beautifully done.
Yeah.
And the back laughing at
I'm gonna frame this and hang it in my office.
Speaking
I
of
cannot
you
wait.
and you, here's Matt.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, that is. Look at the shock and surprise and love on my face, and look at what she did. She has my jacket, and she has the little pins on it. I'm not wearing it tonight, but like I usually have a jacket with.
That's your
Like she got.
uniform?
Yeah, it's.
And you're being dipped.
You're being dipped.
You're
Yeah.
so tall, you never get to be dipped.
No, but Doctor Strange is 6'3", so we're close in height.
These are so sweet and
Those
so
are-
well done.
You know that.
Thank you so much.
Of course I
Jesse.
know that.
Jesse Leave.
Stephen Vincent Strange.
Just R.
Uh-huh. Middle name. I got it down. I'm in love with that. I would marry him.
I am so entertained by the chat right now. I'm gonna stop looking at you. I gotta stop. It's so much.
They're gorgeous. And you're a really talented artist.
That's-
Like, holy crap.
Like the fact that we have the I remember seeing them on Twitter, but the fact that we have the originals, like,
Oh yeah, no, that's.
yeah, producer Liz was telling me she had a special one
Frame
for us
them and
tonight.
put them in the back.
Yeah,
I know.
That'll get a little-
Be back there instead of my office. Yeah, like I certainly
Under
wanted
your
that.
pillow
But
at night.
Yeah, no, we can.
you assume I don't already have
Yeah, he's got that.
Oh,
Got
okay.
Dr. Strange. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's just a body pillow. You don't.
Uh-huh.
you
Doctor
need
Strange
the
body
picture.
pillow,
We
Doctor
actually-
Strange
I
bathrobe.
was gonna say we do have our special kigurumis, so technically speaking.
Yeah, but mine is lockjaw.
Yeah, we made.
Even better for cuddling. I mean, no offense to Dr. Strange.
No, true. Lockjaw.
We had ridiculous kigurumis made. You've got Hank McCoy.
What?
Yeah, our friend
Custom blue-
our friend Manzi made us custom kigurumis.
She's a costume designer.
You know,
I get myself like a
Oh,
TV show.
she's
Really
amazing.
looks
You guys
so
get
and
too
then
many.
and then I've got Kid Loki.
cute.
And
kigurumi.
I've got Lockjaw, the giant 2-ton bulldog from the Inhumans.
Oh, I love Lockjaw.
Yeah,
So
it's
do
cute. It's great.
I got to do a cover, and they were like,
Tell me more.
a Miss Marvel cover, and I was like, well, what am I gonna do? It was like obviously a giant slobbering Lockjaw.
I
all
think
over
I
her.
know the exact
She's like
cover you're
wrapping her
talking
arm
about.
like around his neck like a lot.
That was
Yeah,
you?
nope,
Yeah,
I know that.
I didn't know that was you. I love
Oh.
that cover.
Cue it up, guys.
Zach, if you can find
No?
it.
Zach, if you can
All
find
right,
it.
maybe later.
It may come up.
Is that how this
Oh,
works?
it's Porter. That's
But-
right. Zach's not here
Oh,
tonight.
that's right. There's Zach. Hi, Porter. Oh God.
Hi, Porter.
Hi, Porter.
That's the upsetness in the voice.
Yeah, no one understands that there's like this weird wall where we can't see it.
Yeah.
Because they've decided that we're not allowed to make.
Yeah,
eye
we're not allowed to
contact
see
with
them.
people.
So, I feel we've put off long enough getting to
Yeah.
the fact that we have a fabulous special guest. Hi, welcome to the Wednesday
Hi,
Club.
thanks for having me.
So we have all been watching with great excitement as you take the comics world by storm the last couple of years.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
It's very true.
Which has nothing to do with me. It's just everything to do with everybody else, but thanks.
No,
Is
no.
Yeah.
That's like saying everyone else is doing your work and you're
Yeah,
just putting
no.
your name on it.
No.
That's not true either.
I mean, I do work, but it's, you know,
Welcome to it.
I don't know. It feels, the imposter syndrome is real.
Okay, well we can solve this.
Yeah.
We can solve this.
And
Yeah.
this is a safe
Because I
space.
feel like
We
there's
talk about our
definitely
mental health all the
better
time.
artists
so.
out there. I feel like the thing I do better is like a shameless self-promoter.
See, I disagree because like I discovered you. I'm just going to put this out there. And I'm sure I've probably said this to you, but they haven't heard it. I discovered you through it was these sailor bikers,
Yeah,
the
that was my
bikers
first
and
thing
she-
to go viral, kind of.
and that thing rocked my fucking world. Like and that rocked my fucking world. And then a bunch of cosplay friends.
Cue it up, guys.
They may have it
No?
actually.
All right.
I put no.
Hey!
They have it. I didn't put the cosplay photo in there, but
But
like,
you really do have such a distinctive
Thank you.
style. Like it
You remember,
Hi.
you remember Jenny Newman did Sailor Venus and
vaguely
Ruby did Sailor Mars. Chubby Bunny, who's been on the show.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, yeah.
I know her.
Michelle?
Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah.
She was on one of our manga episodes. She's super cool.
Yeah, she's
the best.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, they blew my mind when they did that group cosplay, and then I actually got to meet her when we were both at San Diego Comic Con.
Nice. She's such a sweet. Have you?
We've been trying to like get together.
You guys,
to
you
do
guys have to hook up. 'Cause
It was
she's-
really hard right before E3 because that's like
Yeah, no, everyone's
Heat
in the
Fun.
thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fun though. So yeah, I mean like, and then after that, I also was like watching your stuff on like I saw your stuff through like Project Rooftop.
So weird.
I know, and then you.
What did you do for Project Rooftop?
I did.
So-
I submitted a Black Canary design,
Yeah, you
and
did.
I did another. I need another one, I think.
Well, your Batgirl.
Or maybe I
also
rage
ended
quit
up
after
there.
Black Canary because they gave me like a 7.5. And I was
I mean,
like,
out of 7.6s though, right?
yeah, it should have been.
The heel debacle.
Yeah, I gave her heels, and I guess, you know, it's not fashion based, it's like practical based, and no one told me, so I was like, I'll give her a cool outfit.
Heels
Sorry.
are sometimes food.
Well, I thought Project Rooftop, I thought it was like, I didn't understand the blog well enough because I thought it was just like high fashion, like costumes, right?
Quick interruption. What is Project Rooftop?
Oh, yes,
that's
yes,
my
yes.
fault. Yep,
You talked about it.
Project Rooftop was back in the days of LiveJournal.
You said that wrong.
Google it.
Back in the days of LiveJournal.
Right, I'm not with. It was in college. It wasn't on LiveJournal then.
No, it was a. By
that.
the
I'm
time
not as
that happened,
old
it was
as
a
that.
I was
blog.
like, don't drag me into your fossils.
It was a blog, and we talked about it briefly on the Manzi episode. We talked about it briefly. It was a blog where people would do redesigns of superhero costumes to try and find new takes on classic looks, and sometimes those takes were oof, and sometimes they were and your Batgirl showed up there, which kind of blew my mind. I don't think it was
I
one of
didn't
their
know
big.
this. Was this before the official thing?
Well-
I think they wrote about her new costume.
Yeah,
when
it wasn't.
got
It wasn't.
designed.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And
It
you
wasn't.
thought it
Was
was
it for
just
it? Well, they talk. Anytime there was a new costume redesign, they would immediately
Critique it.
put it and critique it, and
Yeah.
it was, especially for those of us who were mourning the loss of the Stephanie Brown Batgirl,
Spoiler,
which hurt a lot. It was not a happy feeling. We were kind of like feeling a little betrayed, and then it's like, oh God, they're bringing the vibe back. Oh, thank you for bringing the vibe back. This is everything I wanted my Batgirl to be. This is, there's snaps. There's snaps. They took her Batgirl, they took the Stephanie Brown Batgirl suit and they made it so much better. Oh.
Put a couple of Batgirl pictures in there.
I think I've got a
y'all
Cue
picture.
up the Batgirl costume.
I think I got it in there. Look at that.
I love this.
So awesome. Is that your
Okay.
Black Canary
Yeah.
design too?
So like in our run, Black Canary just kind of had a cool like different bralette and like bottom and a jacket kind of every time. So like I kind of put her in whatever combo I wanted. And then they get, and same with the run Brenden Fletcher was writing with Annie Wu. Like she was a rock star in it kind of in a band. So they just kind of put her in like cool black like leotardy outfit thing.
You know,
combos.
you know what I love? Like this is like I'm gonna help try to break your imposter syndrome right now. You know what I love about every single drawing of yours that I've seen, because I've read a lot of your Batgirl stuff. You can see the fun that you're having.
I am. I do have a lot of fun.
Like every single bit of this is like,
Look at Babs' face.
just her face. Like you're having so much fun drawing it, and the fun that you're having drawing it, is transmitted through the image, through the page.
I am maybe going to make this worse.
This is
but
why
like,
we pay him moderate
as a
bucks.
woman who's always read comics, a sense of fun and books that make me feel like the female characters in it are having fun is not something I always got out of comics growing up.
100%. Especially American comic books.
Yeah, I was a Sailor Moon kid, so I think I also saw your bike designs first. And it was this like, you know, the stories don't always have to be happy, but that sense of like, I can be at the center of this story, and that's exciting by itself. Like, it just leaks out of the art. So
Thank you.
thanks.
I try. And like, that's a testament to my writers who gave me fun things to write. Like, they wrote for me a lot for that book, like, and they even adjusted some of the stories. I don't know. I'm sure you guys heard that before, but they've even adjusted some of the stories when I became the official artist on the book.
Yeah?
So like that.
Can you talk about that at all?
Yeah. So like that second issue where they're the two villains were like motorcycle riding anime cosplayers.
That was
because of me.
Really?
Yeah.
so
I don't know.
fucking rad.
But they knew I like to draw motorcycles because of that Sailor Moon thing, and they rewrote it, and then we even got to put like a cool like vinyl toy shop in the, you know, like shit that you would see. Oh my God, can I say
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah. No.
Okay, all right.
I did just realize I would not have brought it on stream because I wouldn't, because a kid made it, and I don't want to show that off without permission, but I might have to, like, privately take a picture and send you the fan art that a kid at the comic book store where I work, a little girl drew her fan art of those characters, who are her favorite.
Aww.
So I think she's
great.
7, and it's really, really cute.
I know. So when we first started writing it, we were gearing a little bit older, and then I don't know if you guys might have caught it, but we've kind of like softened it as we did more cons, and like little girls came up to the table, and they were like so thankful to have this thing that they felt that they could like read and see themselves in and get excited about, and we were like, we gotta do it for the kids.
For the kids.
So like,
Do it for the kids.
I feel like we still stayed true to our overall, idea of the book, but we did like, there's less like drunk makeouts that we did in the first issue, which I was like, band-aid.
Wait, are you talking about like you guys having drunk makeouts, or like the characters?
No, like Babs Gordon had a
Okay, so you're talking about the fictional.
I said my
makeout.
name. So the Babs Gordon in the book,
Yeah.
drunk makeout in the first issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So we scaled that back. I thought it was really fun.
No, you know.
I thought it was fun.
It made sense. It was funny, like at the shop where it'd be like, your kids are gonna love this. Take a look through those first 2 pages and make your own decision.
I know,
but
so
then
we
after
made
that, it'll be fun.
because you're a Valkyrie, so you're used to doing those speeches and warning the parents and stuff.
Shout out to Valkyrie.
So, yeah, so we made your job a little bit harder,
Valkyries.
but hopefully, the parents would just be like, she just had a fun night, and then just like flip back.
She
to
was
that
real
page.
tired.
She didn't remember how much fun she had. She just had that much fun.
Well, and like
Does that ever
I
happen
love
to
the
you?
vibe that book brought, and like it was the first time DC did anything that felt like a modern teenage book to me, and
my
it was really
You
like,
guys, like, when I got hired, like when I got the initial email, I was like, well, that was flattering, and I never thought I would hear. Because like my
Really?
style was this anime style, and it was very much a house style at DC at the time, and I had never drawn comics before. That was my first comic ever.
Batgirl?
Yeah,
This is insane.
wow.
We were just talking last
Wait,
week.
are you for real?
I'm 100% for real.
We talked
I
last
never
week about
pursued it.
how Neil Gaiman's first
Listen,
monthly book
I'm
was
kind of
Sandman.
cool. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
no.
cool like that though.
You broke him.
So that was weird. Are you gonna come back?
Yeah, I'll come back.
He's never coming back.
I had to dedicate a little bit to the joke.
So yeah, they liked my artwork and it fit the tone of the book that they were going for. And I got this initial email from Cameron Stewart, and he was like, very cryptic, would you be interested in drawing a female character for the DC Comics? And I was working as a game artist at the time in San Francisco at an app company. So I was like making someone else money and doing that stuff. But I would do those Sailor Moon piece and stuff, like my own
Just for
work in
fun.
my free time.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I put enough of my own shit out there, I would like eventually start getting hired for the stuff that I drew for fun instead of like
Sure.
making someone else money. But anyway, so back to the
We'll get
back
there
to
in a minute.
No,
Cameron.
but
Yeah.
by the way,
Very
what you
excited
just said is
Yeah.
so amazing and apt. Like, because we have a lot of artists and writers who watch the
the rest
show.
of the thing. So yeah.
And that's like so important for your career. Like I learned that so late in my life of you've got to constantly put stuff out there, because if you're practicing your craft but you're not putting it out there, then why are you doing it? Like,
And also, like coming from an art school background, your portfolio is full of assignments, and it's like stuff that you think is going to get you gigs, but not necessarily what the gigs that you want to do. Like you don't really have your own individuality yet, kind of right out of school. So like, I remember when I got my full-time job, it gave me the luxury to be able to make whatever I wanted and to find out what's my voice when I'm not under the pressure of like, well, this is my career, or like this is how I'm gonna pay my bills.
like everything that you're saying, I want to like go to every single artist and writer in our
about
audience
it.
and just like kick down their door and be like, fucking listen to Babs! Like, because what you're
Friendly
saying is,
voice coming in.
it is so important to do that. So,
Okay, so
How?
Cameron Stewart.
Okay, I was going to ask is like
Cameron Stewart.
How on like round one do you manage to do?
Okay, so
like,
I'll finish
No,
my
look at this.
story. I'll
Cameron
finish.
can tell you how to
know.
what
He
he's
did the
looking.
layouts.
But
Okay.
still, you drew it. You still did the work.
No,
like,
but, no,
give
but
yourself
like
some credit.
No, but like yeah, like good person for showing how to lay out, because the layouts in this book are spectacular.
He's amazing, and like the only reason I even could do this book was because of him. So like, that's very flattering that he took on that extra work to be able to work with me. So that was insane. But so Cameron emailed me.
Yeah, you get an email.
I got an email.
Like,
I was working as a full-time artist at an app company. I was like, okay, sure, DC's gonna
Whatever.
really hire me. I've never done comics before. And then I forgot about it. And then like a couple weeks later, I got another email from him, and he's like, hey, so we got like a list, and like you're on it. And I was like, great, cool. Because when you're doing freelance work, a lot of stuff just doesn't work out. And
Yeah.
you get a lot of emails, and they don't go anywhere. And I was like flattered, but I never thought it would go anywhere. And then a little bit more time comes by, and get another email from him, and he's like, okay, it's down to you and one other artist. And that's like when my brain was like, what?
It's down to you and Jim Lee.
So that's when it became real. And then at the time, I was also doing toy design for Hasbro in my free time.
You were working a
Free
full-time
time.
job, doing a full-time job and putting your own art online.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, this is a thing.
Which also came about from that Sailor Moon piece, which is something I made out for fun in my free time. So like, follow your heart, guys.
But
No,
apparently,
it
artists
is-
have all the hustle.
It is
Follow
so
your heart.
important. Have hustle, but have fun. Like, do what you love. Have fun doing it. Like,
Because I put out this stuff that I like to do for fun, and then I started getting jobs because of it. Like that Batgirl issue with the motorcycles for Motor Crush. Like,
Oh yeah, no, we're.
and then, you know, anyway, so
That's
okay,
gonna
so
happen in a minute.
got this email down to 2 people, and then I was like, okay, this is fucking real. This might be real. And then at the time, like Hasbro was like, we want you to come out and work in office for us for like 5 months. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I think I can quit my job real soon. And then I emailed Cameron at the app company, and I emailed Cameron, and I was like, they were still pitching. So like they were kind of still deciding what teams, because like the way comics work is like when they know a book's going to end, they'll take pitches from writers and be like, well, this is our story, this is the arc, these are the artists that we're thinking, and then DC will like or whoever will like decide on it based on that pitch. And so they were like, well, if we get it, you'd have to start in 2 months. And so I emailed Hasbro back, and I was like, I can come out for 2 months.
Oh my God.
So I quit my job, and then I went and lived in a hotel in Providence, Rhode Island for 2 months, which was so fucking weird. And during that time, we got the official Batgirl gig, and Cameron and I designed that costume together.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome, and he took the first swing at it. He did an amazing job. He had the snaps and the striped leggings and the Doc Marten boots, and he had her in this leather jacket, and it had like no detail on it other than just the logo.
Yeah.
And because I'm into fashion and I'm a girl and I know where darts and the cuts and to make it look cool and fashionable, so I added all the lines and the zippers, and I like kind of changed her belt from just this one across to like this Laura Croft like sexy thigh thing with the pouch on the side, and she had her hair up, and I put it down because I was like, that'll be cuter to draw. And then I gave her all these earrings and stuff because like, well, she's a 20-something and like the Brooklyn of Gotham, which we call Burnside, she's gonna have like some more than one piercing, and the earrings are gonna be cool. So I just kept thinking about, well, what would I do, or what would my friends do, or like the whole time, and I sent it back to him, loved it. That was the costume. Everyone on the internet loved it. I was fully prepared for everyone to hate it, because the things I knew about comics industry at that time was fans are really volatile.
They don't like change.
They don't like change. And my style was the most different thing I had ever seen DC put out at that time. Like, and I'm not super familiar, so maybe they've done like crazy stuff in the past, but
There's cycles in and
been a
out.
while.
At the time, it was about 3 years into the New 52,
which was like very like
Yeah.
a lot.
There was great
a palette.
stuff in the New 52, but like the most out there you got was like Cliff Chang on Wonder Woman, which was like bright and cool and amazing.
So cool.
But like you didn't. There was a reason. We all viscerally responded when, and the Batgirl run before you is well regarded, but it was a very different tone, and it fit with that house style. There was Gail Simone, who's obviously very prominently associated with Barbara Gordon. It's great stuff, but this design hit the internet like a happiness bomb going off.
Yeah.
We all saw it and went like, oh my God, this is something.
Like, I really am like a Marvel fanboy, like at my heart, but like I really love a lot of what DC does and all like Image and everything else, but like I just grew up with Marvel.
Yeah.
So when like I was trying to like get into DC super hard for a couple years, and then Batgirl came out, and I was like, I'm on board. I'm on board for this.
By Batgirl fans also. Like, to be fair,
all
your
but
best
like,
friends are all Batgirl.
but very legitimately, and like this is not like, hey, let me butter you up. This is like just the truth of the matter. Like I was like, oh, this is different. This is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking for from DC. Like, I need something different to pull me into this universe, and this does it. And that first comic is amazing. I loved it so much.
And at the time, right before that came out, I was very good friends with Chris Anka, and his like new Dazzler costume came out, and I was like sitting with him at dinner, and it was like a little bit before Batgirl like shit was coming out, and like just people didn't like it, and all this like, because they made her from bright and to fit the story, but it had to be more like punk, and it was like very different, and just like he's like, get ready. And I was like, no! But like jokingly, but I was just like, cool, what am I getting myself into? And then, you know, the horror of like, well, I've never done comics before, but like, why don't I just go on this like major character book that's been around for 60 years at
drop a
DC
bomb on
Comics
it
to
and-
just like
No
learn
big.
on the job. But
It was one of the first times I remember seeing a superhero pose with a cell phone and take a selfie.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. I remember that being a big thing of that because it was the selfie cover
it
series.
shouldn't be though.
It
Like,
shouldn't
cell
have been.
phones have been
It's
around for a very long
ridiculous,
time.
But like, yeah.
Anyway.
It was one of those like, oh my God, it's a modern book. That's so nice.
But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to note this in light of last week we had our Sandman episode. And we were talking about the fact that Sandman was Neil Gaiman's first monthly book. He was a writer. He'd done different format stuff. He was trained for this.
Like,
but,
write a monthly.
it was the right book, and he went off like a rocket. And you were obviously a trained artist and had done all
crazy.
kinds of stuff. And that was like, yeah.
Girls on bikes, man.
It was wild. It was a wild ride. So DC, down to 2 artists, and so then I got an email from an editor, an actual editor, and then she was like, "Well, you know, we're a little nervous that you haven't done pages before," and I was like, "Well, this is it. This is when I get cut," and I was like, "Well, you know, I'm pretty good, so like, give me a chance." And at the time, like, I did 2 pages, and the guys wrote me like this cute little 2-page spec script, and it was like Babs is like getting up and brushing her teeth and walking out, grabbing her jacket and walking out the door, and then the next page was like she gets in a skirmish in an alley with like purse thief, and
Batman fair.
the first page I could do, like I drew cute girls doing everyday stuff all the time, so that page like wasn't that bad, but the fight scene, I've never done that before, didn't really interest me. So I was just like, it was weird. Like I didn't know the rule to like move your eye and like how to make punching kind of flow. And Cameron red pinned that page for me, and I adjusted it, turned it in, got the gig the next day.
It's amazing because I see so much good flow and action, especially in.
I did the layouts in this one too.
Oh well, well, okay.
We're a team. So like Cameron did the first 5 issues of Batgirl, and he did the first 5 issues of Motor Crush. And I know it's like, well, Babs, why don't you do your own layouts? But I'm really good at drawing and coloring.
No, this is I
And
actually.
I like
I can't believe
it.
you do your own colors. Like they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Your color work's amazing.
Well, doesn't it make sense now? You guys know my background is illustration and not
Yes.
comics. So
Yeah.
like, I'm handing in pages on Batgirl was painful because I'm good at color, and I had to like let someone else do that. So it was like handing in half-finished illustrations to me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe not always loving it as much as I would
Sure.
if
Yeah.
I did it myself.
Sure.
But we had great colors on it, and but it's not like what I would have done
Sure.
all the time.
We do have a couple more pages of Batgirl that I want to show off before we are done with the run. I think Batgirl Splash is in there.
I'm pretty sure my colors probably hated me by the end of the run.
Were you like slightly more pink, slightly less pink?
I definitely got into those files once in a while. And like we had the first trans wedding in a comic was in our book.
That's in there too. If you can find those.
And I colored every single page of that issue because I wanted it to be really good and perfect, and so I did.
You
it.
wedding planned your fictional
I
wedding?
did. I wedding planned the shit out of it,
Amazing.
and it was also
Oh
like
God, look at that.
Oh, look at the flow on that.
that one I actually did myself.
Nice.
That's got
So,
some
like-
good stuff.
Is that a reference to the Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
That is leaving.
Okay, so I did a lot of cheeky
Earn your
shit.
money this week.
It was
Well
like
done.
a weekly. My poor editor. My poor
Oh,
editor.
man,
Every
I
week
just
he's
fell in
like,
love with you
"Is that,
so hard."
Is that Sailor Moon characters in the background? Is that this
Oh,
anime
yeah.
in the background?
I
Are you
didn't
sneaking
catch
this in this week,
Oh.
Babs? And I did.
So,
I did a
I gotta go
lot.
back.
True story.
Yeah.
I used to be a ghostwriter for a team of commercial directors. That's one of my
Oh,
first
God.
big directing or like creative jobs in the town.
Okay, that's cool.
And one of them had a gig in New York. And I told him, I was like, I need you to find a way to get me to New York because I need to go see the Ghostbusters ghost house. That's literally all I cared about. And he's like,
I get
well,
that.
you know, like there's a lot to do in New York other than, I was like, no, I want to do that stuff, but I
that's
need
great.
to see the Ghostbusters. I need to see it.
That firehouse.
I was like, you live there. Have you seen it? Is it as amazing as I think it is? He's like, no, I've never seen it. I was like, how did you not? Like, it blew. I'm 31. I'm like, how have you not seen that? That's the first thing I would do.
I had a voice actor come into LA, and all he wanted to see was Nakatomi Tower from Die Hard.
Yep.
And he saw it in the distance. Like, it's there. Turn here. And I'm like, oh God. And it was like, I was basically under house arrest.
Nerds are
like,
so weird.
I can't say much because when I moved out here, I flew into the Burbank airport and we drove south, and the first thing I saw was the Warner Brothers water tower, and I was like, the Animaniacs live there.
Yep. Yep. When I interned on that lot, that was my very first Hollywood thing ever. It was interning on that lot, like
every time I go on that.
Oh, I have
100 yards away from the water tower. And I would walk under it every single day and call my brother and be like, I'm under the Warner Brothers water tower right now. It's the Animaniacs. I don't see them around. They're not real. I'm kidding. But like, I called him literally every day.
Just in case today was the day they showed.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Oh,
Yeah.
I definitely. So I've been to a lot of art museums and seen a lot of great pieces of work.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in Japan and I saw the life-size 1-to-1 scale Gundam, I cried.
Oh,
I cried.
I'm so sad I missed that.
They have a new one, and it's even cooler
Which
than
one
the one
did they
I
do?
saw.
Which one did they do?
I don't
You
remember,
don't
but
remember?
it animates and moves, and it has red neon lights that
that's
change, and then
rad.
steam come out of it, and it's like the Gundam.
Bless you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good work, Chief.
Unicorn is a
But
beautiful Gundam.
it's like 10 times cooler
He's
than the
the-
old one,
he's
even though I'm
cheap
glad I
tonight.
saw the old one. But
The
I
RX-78,
teared up. I was like, the country's like so much more embracing of nerd stuff, I feel like, and like the fact that there's a 1-to-1 scale Gundam in a mall, in a public space that everyone can just like
Oh, man.
go and see.
They nerd hard
I
out
just
there.
like, it just got
Did you get to
me.
like the Ramo and Half
It just got
Cafe
me
or
real
any of that?
good. I went to the Gundam Cafe.
Okay, did the-
And when I went last time, I went to the My Hero Academia Cafe.
Hi.
Did you
Oh.
go to the Final Fantasy Cafe?
No, there's a Final
So,
Cafe.
my lovely wife Brittany and I
Drink.
your water.
All right. Every time he mentions his lovely wife, Brittany.
She's a giant Final Fantasy nerd, so we had to go to the Final Fantasy Cafe on our honeymoon.
That's
and
awesome.
Then we ended up winning like the contest, like there was like a ticket contest or something, and we won it. But the only reason we knew we won it was because we had a friend who happened to be in Japan at the same time who spoke Japanese.
Oh, so you
And they-
lucked out.
Like we were like, here's our tickets. Tell us if they call our number. And he's like, okay. They called one of the numbers, and he's like, oh hey,
What'd
this
you
one
guys
won.
win?
We won this incredible, like one of the best desserts I've ever had. And like I haven't
Really?
played.
Because
I haven't.
usually those like anime-themed cafes
No,
are
I know.
not
Like,
great
it's-
at food,
so
but
there's
you're there for like
You're not there for the
probably
food.
gonna
You're not there
butcher-
for the food.
I'm probably
You're
going to
there for
butcher the
photos,
name because
but-
I didn't play this particular game. But there's a, in one of the Final Fantasy games, there's a place called Goldschlossers or is it Goldschlossers or something like that. What's that? Goldschlossers, yeah. Like
Love these
chat
guys
will
behind this
correct
black
me.
wall over here.
Thank you for
Oh, yeah.
correcting me. But apparently there was a dessert in that game
And
that
they
was a
built the real-
huge deal, and they built the actual
That's
dessert,
really
and they brought it
cool.
out, and it had like sparklers and fireworks, and they sang a song, and every single person in the
desserts
cafe
there.
sang it, and then everyone was coming by our table and taking pictures of it, and we were just like,
Cool.
we don't know what's
Guys,
going
it's a
on.
good
You
dessert.
were probably all over social media there that week. You
Yeah.
Oh,
didn't
probably
even
so.
know
Probably
it.
didn't even
Like,
know it. Yeah.
These
but,
people don't even appreciate the dessert.
Somewhere there's a picture of you in an issue of Fruits. And you're like,
but Brittany and our friend
I
Tim,
know
they
what
were both
fruits
like,
are. I know what fruits
they
are.
were both
I
like
want
in
friend
tears because they're
fruits.
both
I can't
giant
believe it.
fans, and we're like, oh, I can't believe that
one
this is what
friend
this
who's made
is. So they knew. I just
They're
didn't.
claiming
It was
fame
lost
right
on me.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Screw Critical
oh
Role.
man, I
have
was
one
such.
friend that was
I
in the
used to
first
hang
one.
out in Harajuku hoping to get photographed back in like the early days of Kerouac magazine and shit. I loved.
How long did you live in Japan?
On and off for about 2 years. I worked for Brutus magazine, and I worked for. I had
Do
a.
you know Japanese?
I used to know a bit, but like I worked for a bunch of different companies out there while I was like trying to
Wow.
like, bullshit my way through that country. It was great.
Wow. I studied abroad there. I studied abroad there for like a semester.
Nice.
Did you?
It was
I
super
did for
fun.
summer.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
we've
the
been-
best.
Yeah.
And I finally got so much of what I've seen in animes, like growing up, like the cicadas.
Like, oh
like,
yeah,
in
that
the
sound
summer,
is a
just,
real.
Like, so loud.
What town were you living in out of
I
curiosity?
was in the country in Osaka.
I was in like
like,
Chiba, man. I feel you.
They were like rice paddy fields outside my apartment, and
Amazing.
there's like a little old man in a takoyaki stand shack, and like
We just had takoyaki on the stream this week. We did a.
was awesome.
Our friend
summer
Erica
festival.
Tua says.
and I had have two friends that were on that trip with me that are like still like blood brothers. Like we have just like bonded because like you can't talk to everyone, right? Or you can, but it's like broken and it's not very deep, right? But
My Japanese sucked. I did not. I talked to the people I worked with and like a few. I got into it. Yeah, those are stories for another episode. But
so
yeah,
it bonds you when you like go over there and you're
very
like,
quiet a lot.
You're like we're gonna really get to know each other because there's no other like way to really like have deep conversations with anyone else.
So
Got
no, well,
way off topic.
no, well, this
I
is
do
good.
with it being the Pride episode. Before we move on from Batgirl,
Yes.
I did throw in some of the Batgirl 45. I think.
Oh, that's the wedding.
Yeah. A couple of pictures, the cover, and I think the dress shot.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Oh wow. Everyone.
I love getting to do this issue because I've been begging the dudes to do like a love triangle like for so long.
Love a mustache.
Like all I want to do is like melodrama stuff, and then like the action is what I have to put up with. Yeah.
We're literally just clapping because that dress is so beautiful.
Yeah, this is all dressed.
So I came in with like the circle, like very anime,
Oh, like, no,
like
even your background
manga-esque.
there, like,
yeah.
that's so. I mean, like the texture. I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this one, I got to do a lot of my own layouts on this one. So, like, I started to take over regular pages, and then the action scenes I would hand off to somebody else. Because, like, at the end of the day, I just want to put out the best book for you guys. Like, I'm not really worried about my ego or, like, making it all mine. Like, I just want to put out a great book and, like, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did the wedding come about? Like,
we, oh my gosh.
I know.
I know it's
The writer
Oh.
wrote it. I don't remember. But I think
Brenden and Cameron probably.
Yeah, I think they wanted to. So when we took over the book and Alyssa was her roommate, I think people were really nervous that we were just going to like shove her in a corner.
And that's
So,
not like that. Like the whole history of comics is like cool side character who may or may not survive to the next. Like that's normal life, but it just feels like it's got so much weight to it when you're like, oh, only side character like this. Now everything is more precious about them.
And like because Batgirl has so many like minority characters that you don't see, like she was in a wheelchair and we had a trans character in it, or they had a trans character in it before we took it over.
Yeah, introduced by
like it just like it means a lot to those communities, and we get it. So we, when we introduced Frankie, we had her have the crutches and the cerebral palsy like history, and like we tried to keep Alyssa and gave her this like chance to be highlighted and like have this like first trans wedding thing, which is like, oh, what an honor to like be able to put my name down. I'm like getting chills to be able to like draw that and put my name to it. And we didn't want people to feel like we didn't care about that character or whatever. So we tried.
It was.
Thank you.
One of the reasons I was really happy to have you on this particular episode, specifically with several of the books that you're doing, is that, and we had last time we did this, we had Mark on, who's has a fabulous vision of the past and everywhere we've been.
Mark who?
And Draco.
Okay.
Who really has written some amazing books and has a really steeped history of like the moment from like literally North Star practically screaming at the audience that he is gay, to the point where it's like, whoa boy, oh wow, there's a lot of cross hatches in that. That's a lot happening at me. To slowly watching like best friend characters evolve and then be shuffled off from like Green Lantern and things. So like I feel like in the last few years it's really curved towards the point where it's starting. There's a lot to delve in. There's a lot to read.
We've gotten to
options
where
are
abundance
available.
and variety are starting to be words that you can actually use, which is very exciting.
There are
can always be
options.
more,
It's
but,
great.
And I mean, even the big two. I mean, even within the big two, I feel like they're trying really hard to like have options.
They want. It's good to have a book for everybody.
Yeah.
It's you can recommend
that's
a book
what was
for
so
everybody.
cool about the Bat line at that time. Like Mark Doyle was the Bat group editor at the time, and he had a vision that there's like a different type of genre for every Bat book. Like there's like a mystery, like murder, horror one, and then ours was like the young teen girl aimed one, and then like
There was Gotham Academy, which was quite fun.
A detective kind of driven one. I don't know.
That woman was very horror noir because they brought back Professor Pig. That I loved.
But he was like, there should be a Bat book for every different type of person that they could like get to read, and that way there's like a book for everybody. And I thought that was such a great concept.
And there's so many Bat people. Why not do that?
Yeah, Wow,
Because
yeah.
otherwise, it's like 9 books with like basically the same thing happening, just a slightly
I
altered
remember going to
costume.
the comic shop and asking about like, is there like something for me? Like when I was like 12 and I had like $15 that I earned, and like the guy was like, I was like, I like romances or like fun, you know, and the guy was like, I don't know. He like didn't know what to do with me, and I was like,
I don't know, kid. Read the flag.
yeah, and I was like, whatever, dude. I'll go figure it out myself. And I like walked over and I got all the coolest covers.
That's a good call.
And then I came home and it was a lie.
Oh.
And then I opened it up and it was like the art was different and I felt lied to and betrayed, and I just wasted my like money I earned. And I swore off American comics at that point. I'm like,
no.
Yeah. I felt so lied to, and I was like, this is
I would
the
love
art
to
is
know what those comics were.
I'm not saying,
No.
but because now it's like
will you-
my peers I might run into.
Will you tell me off when we're?
Yeah, that's okay.
And then I'll tweet it out.
I'll tell you off camera.
And
Well, now I'm
thankfully,
not
there's a lot of Japanese and Korean and European comics that fill some of that. void.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had been reading manga, and then I was like, well, I guess I'm sticking to that because at least the cover art matched the insides. That was the same. I just didn't get it. I just didn't get the variant. Like it didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that world yet.
It can be a super odd, like I've seen it happen with folks where you're just like, I'm in love with this vision. It's not the same as the, I don't
very
know what
hard.
the-
It changes. It changes so fast, and you know, there's like a different artist on the book this month, and like being on the other side of that, like being on both sides of it, it's like it hurts to feel like to get the rug taken out from you when you're like fall in love with this artist or writer on that book, and then it's like gone.
It's a weird mix of inconsistency coupled with deep consistency.
Yes.
Where there's a fundamental core of the book that basically doesn't change unless something
It
goes
always
horribly
resets
wrong.
to zero, so nothing really.
But
can
everything else
happen.
around it shifts. But like it's a very good place in that.
You can't
And
get
the thing I liked about manga is that it's like you can get 57 novel, like thick books this big of the same artist or the writer who's the same person consistently
Doing
telling this story, and then it actually has like an ending, and it's complete
Sometimes.
Or it's like, I love Rom
Big
One
two-
Half, but oh my God, that ending, I was so
I know
mad.
no one likes that ending.
I was so mad. Anyway, but I still love it. I still love that journey.
Maze Koku had a good ending. We
yes.
can go with
Yes.
she got one solid one.
Yes.
That's all
and
of it.
there was so much fan fiction to fill the void of the Ranma.
Yeah.
Lord.
There was,
And the animation did a good job. I feel like you got more smooching and romance, kind of like steamier stuff in the anime, which is
I was
good,
all
too.
about Nabiki Tendo. It was
Oh
all
my gosh,
about Nabiki.
she's like my spirit animal.
Oh, man,
Are
I
you
feel it.
kidding me?
you with
feel
the
it.
hustle.
With her
Oh.
money? I was like, she's my queen.
I was
Her and
trying-
like
I was-
Ryoko are
Oh
like,
man, like I just remember like with the one where Kuno like got amnesia and she's like, you don't remember the 1,500 yen you owe me? And she takes it and then she starts crying. I'm like, you should feel bad for me. She goes, I do. I should have asked for 30. Love you. Oh.
So how did we get
so
from
good.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
Batgirl
sorry.
to this? Where did this next book that
I'm
so excited about to
so
talk
excited.
about?
Before we
Okay.
do all of that, don't forget we will be doing our 5-minute topic tonight.
Keeping
So
us on
start
track.
rolling those in. We're going to talk to Babs some more now.
Desire was the non-binary endless. Well done. Chat's being good. Chat's coming up with characters to talk about. I am so. I mean, like, chat knows I've talked about this book. I'm so excited to talk about this book.
Can't believe how much you make me like reading about sports. How?
Oh, okay. We tricked you. It's not really.
It's not really about sports.
We tricked you a little bit.
Which look.
Okay, so when we were so this is Motor Crush. I'm gonna give you guys my elevator
Please.
pitch.
Oh yeah.
So it stars Domino Swift. She's a professional motorcycle racer by day, and then by night she's in these illegal bike fights where they race and fight each other for this vile hot pink liquid that goes in your motorcycle called Crush. It's an illegal accelerant. But Domino kind of needs it for a more mysterious reason, so you'll have to read it and find out why.
Motorcycles on drugs.
Motorcycles
Ah.
and drugs.
I put in this picture of her and her dad because
Oh,
they're the cutest.
I love that cover.
That's from volume 2 that just got released.
I remember.
Yes, that's the backstory we did.
I remember reading the first few pages and like God. And they say something like the motorcycle overdose or something like that, and I
Yeah.
was like,
It's weird.
That's some anime.
that
shit, man.
Yeah.
that
There's
in and
a
of
lot of
itself
that.
pulls me in. I was just
Yeah.
like, that's interesting.
I'm gonna
on
mention a very obscure anime to see if it at all just had like a
Redline.
vibe. Well, no, Redline I could
Okay.
tell. Redline's obvious.
Okay.
Redline,
Shoot.
Speedgrapher was the one I was going to ask. Red,
No,
like
I
red.
don't know
Okay,
that
not that
one.
one.
The writers might have.
Okay, because like
But they never
that's a
mentioned it.
weird one, but it has a little bit of that strange. That's a weird show. It's like it's a little dark. It's very dark. Not a happy show.
I think I loaded one in that was a Motor Crush.
Oh yeah.
Just Watch Me or something like that. It's a full page in there.
There's
I should remember the names that I give things to make your job easier. Yeah.
God, look at that.
So there's Domino. She's training with her dad, Sully, who has that motorcycle part leg that he built himself.
So much Speed Racer, and like
I
you've
love
even
it.
got the with the
The
cap.
cap, yeah.
And it's so Speed Racer.
So in my heart, Sully Swift is played by Terry Crews.
Yes.
Can't you see it? He was like totally
yeah.
modeled in my heart. So
And
Terry, if you're watching,
you never know.
have my people call your people. We'll set it up.
And there's
Cat-
When Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled, I was like, guys, it's time. This is a sign. And then it got renewed.
Kappa is how I knew you were a Gundam fan.
Kappa is from Sailor Moon. Are you kidding
I know,
me?
but like
That's
the little,
Luna P.
the little. Okay, I thought it was a little yellow bot.
No,
from Gundam.
it's. I mean, it's
both,
It's
but-
a cute pet from an
I
anime.
know.
That's just anime background right there.
Definitely.
But the guys so when I first designed Catball, I was like bitterly adding it to this first illustration I drew because they're like, I can't tell it's sci-fi Babs. And I was like, okay, I'll put a dumb robot in it. Is this what you want? And they're like, yeah, that's great. I was like, okay, cool. So like originally I just like totally ripped off Sailor Moon. It was like the same antenna in the ears. And then we like changed the antenna up a little bit and I changed the coloring on it and stuff.
So
I
it's
want
a
to
little-
ask you
Oh, yeah.
one quick question.
sorry.
Is the Sazerac, is that you?
No. But
I-
he is very full of himself and I can be that way sometimes.
No, yeah, I just like, I saw
Look at that.
Sazerac and was like, ooh, did Babs draw Sazerac on his chest?
No. Okay, so I had my graphic design friend make a lot of fake brands for me, so he
Yeah.
might have had made a little joke in there, but
Because I love the Sazerac.
okay, it was probably him.
I was going to say this is Wednesday Club. What is
See all these,
It's
all these
a
logos
drink in
and
New
stuff like
Orleans.
that.
It's,
Oh, thank you. I needed
yeah,
that.
it's a New Orleans sort of like whiskey.
Oh, my graphic design friend helped me fill in all these. Like I needed all these,
Red Docs,
I was
Diesel
really
Boys.
into Splatoon when this came out, and I love the feel of like all the branding in Splatoon made it feel like such a real fucking world that these like, I don't know if it's a shooter for Nintendo. I don't know if anybody watches it, plays it or whatever, but
No one in our audience plays
No.
it.
this this Motor Crush is really inspired by that. I just wanted it to the branding in it and the reflection of the whole world built around everybody loving the sport, like the Splatoon sport. Like that's what racing is.
It
no
comes through
Honda.
very clearly.
does.
Like it's in the
captions.
ads, it's in the
Yeah.
TV, like it's in the fashion. Like it all revolves around racing inspiration.
I'll also say like the attempts to make reading this on an iPad is a really complicated process.
Oh, because you want to
Because I
fucking tap
keep
it all?
accidentally tapping buttons, hoping that they do something. Like
I'm
not
so
thinking.
sorry.
Show something off
Maybe
display.
one day. Maybe
Maybe
one
one
day.
day.
We've talked about it.
So like a lot of things are designed to be digital interfaces. Like this one is if we can get this up on the big screen. There's a lot of like Domino Swift win probability 7.8%, Rising Star trivia, and then there's a button to place bet, or there's lots of like click here to go to a link about this information, and the whole book is
We
filled
do it all
with
the
this
time.
stuff. And it's so much fun metadata to the story,
And
it's
the twist it takes later in terms of communication
is serious.
just wonderful.
And we just wanted a different way to give you guys information instead of like the corner on like today, like or middle of the city at this time. So like
Yeah, it was
we
really-
can give you a different
Yeah.
way to deliver that information, which is cool.
And I love a cricket bat with nails is like just that's
You're like, what the bat is boring.
We
but
we
what's
used-
different?
yeah. I was like where I come from, they used to call that the ugly stick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just have it carved in. You're like, oh, it's like the most surf Nazis must die like weapon
Yeah.
you could possibly go for.
So may I,
Oh.
once again, in honor of our theme, be like, we've met Domino, but we haven't yet met.
Sorry.
Oh, hold
Sorry,
on. This
sorry.
guy first.
This is my favorite page, maybe of all time. When we were developing this, this guy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't believe the guys let me do this. I drew a bunch of these random racers to fill the world in.
Yeah,
Very,
go out and show the whole page.
The Warriors kind of esque, like all the
Yeah.
different gang members and stuff. And so I drew all these guys up.
Love the Warriors.
You know what this did for me? This was like that. This met my need for like those old comic book cards from the '90s. Like that's what that's. I was like, give me the stats. I want a whole book of this.
So I had just watched Creed on an airplane, and I don't know if you guys have seen that, but they have these like shots where it freezes, and then the stats come down of like what this character is, and like what do they want, and like a fact and their nickname. And I was like, guys, we have to do this to these characters. Like, I want this. It's like it's kind of manga too. They do it in manga a lot, which and I love it. You get such such an inside. So much information is like delivered just from their Beefquake? Are you kidding me? The guys wrote that up. I didn't take any credit. But like I had all these guys designed, and then like later on they filled in these stupid facts about
Talks
them,
trash,
so
easy
fun.
cash. Special move, the chain and pain.
Can you just like zoom in on this guy and do people can
Calax, aka Savage.
Beefquake is the best specialty there ever was.
What is 3.5 wins?
He didn't quite win that. He didn't quite win.
Silver.
It's so intriguing. There's no silver in illegal street racing.
Didn't die. I don't know. Didn't go into traction. Actually crossed the finish line.
It was a lot of fun.
That panel's just for us. That's not even for the audiences.
Also, I thank you for putting more than one woman in things. And some of the backup people, also women. I know that's a crazy concept, but...
And we try to not just do white people in the background.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Quarter.
The guys are, I love working with them, and they've, being in comics has made me much more aware of other types of people and listening and empathetic and conscious of the world around me, and I'm so thankful I got into this industry, because I don't know if my eyes would be as wide if it wasn't for comic books.
Aww.
It's a great way to learn. I have a whole rant about this type of storytelling being one of the best ways to communicate complex thought.
Can we talk about
no, too much. There's so much femme happening there. There's so much femme happening.
I believe that is also loaded in. So who
is it loaded in? That'll be better.
Oh, it might be. I don't know. Is it loaded in? I didn't load it in.
I believe. What did I call that one? We used it for the. It's one of the covers, and it's a girl with pink hair on a motorcycle, and you'll know the one I mean. She is holding onto Domino. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's Lola.
Oh, that's Lola.
She is Domino's ex. They had a very serious relationship. Ex-ish.
Spoilers.
All right.
I have hopes. I have fucking hopes.
She's a brilliant mechanic. She's a hothead. I love her. She was kind of originally what I had drawn for the main character. And I thought a pink-haired main character, not very original. And so that's when we bumped her down to love interest. And then I was like, what would be different? And I was kind of low-key obsessed with Willow Smith at the time. And I just thought she's 12, and she's cooler than I'll ever be. And I thought, well, that Domino is going to be that effortless cool. Mm-hmm. And then also having this turmoil underneath of this cool exterior, and I was like, that's all of us are trying to be so cool and have it together, but then on the inside it's just she's dealing with so much.
Oh, it's such a good book. They're so I don't even want to say they're cute, because they're not cute. It's a whole.
They're the cutest.
It's steamy and weird and sad and awesome, and it's just great. I just love it. I love it.
I'm so proud of it. There's some bits on Batgirl where it's I'm glad, on a whole, I'm so glad I worked on it. But there are bits where I'm like, oh, that's not quite what we wanted to do, because we had to bend to whatever event or something was going on, or the executives, had a different vision than the story we wanted to tell.
Everybody's got a favorite kid.
Yeah, so the cool thing about these image books is that they let the creators do whatever we want, and we got to tell the story exactly how we want, and that's so rare.
Oh,
so there are 2 volumes of this book out so far that you can get right now.
Yes.
It was 11 issues so far.
I have volume 2 too. Yeah. So this just came out last month.
That was also how
the end of the month, volume 2. and it picks up right where volume 1
It is a crazy.
That's how those work.
Crazy Town Banana Pants book too.
But yeah, it's
great. I've been singing the praises of this book quite a bit, and it is Crazy Town.
And we have this will or won't they, and it starts out as this. You think it's going to be this sports book, but it takes this weird left turn into sci-fi, like super hard. And you guys will get this a little bit, but I also like Wreck-It Ralph was a big inspiration.
I get that.
Can you guess why?
Okay.
The speed, yeah. That's kind of where we got that idea from. And I remember when the guys like came to Charleston and we were like, okay, so we had this like one sentence outline of what Motor Crush was going to be at the time, and we're like breaking it down, and that's when all this like sci-fi, like bigger picture, crazy drama was happening, and I thought we were just going to draw like a sports anime, a sports manga book. Like I really did, and I was like prepared to do that, and then it just got so bigger and weirder than I ever thought it was going to be, and I'm really proud of it.
that central core. Like it's
there's stitle a lot of racing.
It's romance and sports and sci-fi and action. It's ridiculous. It's
my vibe. It was the natural evolution of what I wanted. If like they ever did a comic book like in the vein of like the Wachowski siblings, Speed Racer, which is a movie I love. Love. It's so good. And this has all of that fun and brightness and just kinetic energy.
Yeah, it's a lot of me pushing my own aesthetic too, and I think that
you have a very fun aesthetic.
Fun aesthetic, and I wanted it to
bright
be
and fun. There's a lot of danger and violence in this story.
I know.
It's a fantastic story, but this is not for your 6-year-old.
No, this is. I mean.
Christine.
Oh man, I don't even know how to handle characters like this.
So good.
She's so fun. She's like a little bit me. Like I used to have that haircut with the ducktail in the front, but not the back.
Voice director and me is like coming up with voice actors for all these characters.
Oh my gosh.
Immediately, I'm like, Erica Lindbeck, fuck that shit up. But yeah, sorry.
No, I mean, let's talk later.
Does anyone know Terry Crews? Call us Terry Crews.
Terry.
So
have your people call me.
We have friends at Blizzard, but I'm sure we can. Bug Blizzard fan. And then I literally just finished volume 2 today, so my mind is fucking blown right now. But yeah, so that's my big.
So rookie.
Do you guys have a planned schedule for the future?
Yeah, so volume 3 should come out around this time next year. I think we're kind of discussing whether we're going to do trades singles for this next arc, because we maybe want to explore what it would be like to tell the story without having the constraints of like a 22-page single thing that had to make sense. And
interesting.
Like from a storytelling, that's a bummer for you guys because you have to wait a little longer. But from a storytelling point of view, it appeals to me so much because I loved manga because they had these like room for the things to like breathe and sit and like have these quiet moments or like stretch this thing out. And like it's very hard to do that in monthlies because you have to cram as much information and tell the story, and especially in Motor Crush where we're trying to deliver you guys like so much info, have these like character moments and the drama of like what Crush is and where's it come from and what it does, and
it's so weird.
In the seedy city shit where it's like these producers like take over. I hope you guys read it. I feel like we're talking about so much, but you should give it a go. It's really good.
Oh yeah, no.
At the very least, it looks really good.
I think
it's good.
I mean, the writing's okay, but can we talk about how good it looks?
I put this in just because it's looking out the window at her dad, and he's the cutest. That was. I was like, I just have to. I know.
There's been so much running down with like cute dads. Like, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I just touched my mic so much. Sorry, that was super loud. I was like, if you guys kill him, I will quit the book.
Really?
Yes, like I'm just like so scared because Cameron was talking about it. Cameron likes to up the ante. Like me and Brenden are a little bit softer.
That flashback freaked me out, man. That flashback really freaked me out.
And you knew he was gonna be fine.
It was so heavy. Oh.
But yeah, Cameron's like a brutal, or he brings the brutality to the book for sure.
It's cool to have a mix of like.
We're such a balance. It's like a very good balance. We're very lucky to have found each other, but yeah. So Brendan's like more into the manga and anime like I am, and Cameron, he has more of a different background, but together we combine and make a really cool story.
Yeah. So
the guys are
Cameron
great.
emailed you originally. Did he already
Yes.
have Brenden on board? How did
Yes.
the three of you come together?
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So like they had originally offered the book to Cameron Stewart. He had done this really great Batman Incorporated. Did you read
I
that?
love Batman Incorporated.
Okay,
Love
so
it.
he did a short story, the schoolgirl one, where like
Oh,
Rihanna is basically one of the teachers.
I love that. Well, wasn't that the
school- the
last?
school
That was the
one.
last Stephanie Brown story ever told as Batgirl,
Yes.
and it was the best Stephanie Brown story
It was very
ever.
good.
Like they nailed that character. It was like literally like done. We finished her. She's perfect. Take it all down. It was just like,
Burn
"Yo!"
it to the ground.
The little, like, even like the bejeweled guns that the girls had with like the little. I was like, this is so fucking cool, and Son of Pig and all the
Yeah.
shit.
But but it's okay. It turned out okay.
It turned out great. But like I remember just going like this is peak Stephanie. Like I remember just sitting with Marisha and being like, this is the best shit. That's the best shit. And like
They knew, Mark Doyle knew. So they originally were like, hey man, there's the opening on Batgirl. Why don't you write it and draw it? So, and at that time, Cameron had just said yes to Fight Club 2. So he couldn't do it, but he wanted to still have a hand in it. So I think he was like either sitting in a room with Brenden at the time because they're really good friends and they grew up together, or they grew up a little bit after. They grew up some together.
They'd
been friends for like 6 years or something.
Yeah,
I don't want to say grew up together because Brenden and Carl Kerschel like grew up together from here.
Oh, that's the
they're,
cutest, really?
Yeah. And they're on another book. They're on a book, Isola, right now, which is also really beautiful.
Oh, it's
Brendan's
gorgeous.
writing it. You should check that out too. But also super gay. So. Anyway, so Brenden and Cameron had been friends for a while, and Brenden was like, Cameron was like, I'll work with Brenden, so I'll get a co-writer and I'll get an artist, and I'll still get to like tell this story the way I think this vision for Batgirl I think should be, and that's kind of how that came to be. So him and Brenden were together hunting for an artist, and that's like when they found me. And Brenden didn't want Cameron to hire me because he knew that Cameron would have to do more work on it. So like, because he was going to do layouts. He liked my work, but he knew that his friend was going to have to like do Fight Club and do layouts for Batgirl if they like went with me. But luckily, Cameron really fought for me.
Is Cameron like a guy who wants to overcommit and his friend is trying to help him
Yeah,
not
Cameron's
take on 7 jobs?
Cameron's a very hard worker, and he has a vision, and like, thank goodness that he does. So
worked out great.
It worked out pretty good for me. But yeah.
Oh man.
Or is it good for all of us?
I'm so thankful to the both of them. I'm forever in their debt. Those boys, those sweet boys. I just did my first book without, like, a story without them, and it was so weird. Because my whole comics career for like the past 4 years has been those
That's
two.
true. You haven't strayed far from.
So like,
Covers for other stuff. but-
yeah, covers for other
covers.
stuff.
Like-
But like I just did a little Judge Dredd short story,
Oh.
and I had a girl writer, Emma. Boy, I can't remember her last name, but Judge Dredd, and you can like look it up.
Is it for the special that's coming up?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Emma
neat.
B something. I can't remember her last name. Someone put it in the chat. They can Google it.
They'll know. They always
Okay,
know.
they always
how
know.
Is it B or V?
B. It's like Emma B something. But it was awesome, and I got my friend Jake Wyatt to do like layouts because he's awesome.
You know Jake,
I hate
too?
it. Yeah, I love Jake.
Oh dear.
He's one of my best friends in comics. Are you kidding me?
I sell comics in Burbank, so I've met many talented
Yeah,
artists
yeah,
through
yeah.
those doors.
He's great, and I was like, Jake, like, do this Judge Dredd? Sure, that sounds great. And it was just layouts for 6 pages, so it wasn't that. And I got to like kind of experiment and change up the style, because when you get on these books that are ongoing, it's like, okay, well, this is the first issue, and I guess this is what I'm going to do for the next 5 years. Or, you know, like, that's your style. That's it. You did it.
Yeah,
That
you're
one
there.
issue. You're stuck doing it for forever. or for
Mustache
X
will look
amount.
like that in every panel.
I know, I have to draw comics. Life is so hard, but it's, you know, when you're an artist and you want to like grow or switch it up, you can't really until that story's done, or you can, but you know,
No,
it's not consistent, and you want to be consistent to look polished.
Yeah, well, I'll also say I've said it before on the show, and I'm going to say it again. One of my favorite
Tell
artist
me.
friends, just once when I was wondering why she was quitting such a really, really lucrative animation job, said, "I didn't go to art school to have a proper job. What do you think?
Yeah,
This is
come
a
on.
day job, please." No.
Yeah.
Went to art school to draw. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, like, and we also, the other reason that I kind of dragged you onto the show, not
Yeah, you really had to pay me to be on the show.
Like, I was just like, I was the most, like, I was like peak awkward me, like, hey, you want to come on the comedy show?
Liam had already told me that you were going to ask me.
Oh, that's good.
I was like, yeah,
Thanks,
that's great.
Liam.
Liam's the greatest.
He's
I
the
love that dude.
greatest.
It's so fun to talk Doctor Strange stuff with him.
Really?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so, like, I love that dude. I think we're going to go see the Decemberists maybe together.
Oh,
Oh,
neat.
cute.
Yeah, I know, he's
We're
got it.
both.
Cute
We're both.
date.
What's that?
That'll be a cute date.
Cute little date. Cute little date.
One of the reasons we love having professional guests on occasion is because there's nothing like making comics to give you taste. And you are definitely, and like one of the things, we last year covered a bunch of kind of older.
We crammed as much history as we could into 2 hours.
Into 2 hours. And it was an impressive amount of history.
shit,
and
I
then,
watched it.
and then, well, I mean, we don't mind repeating ourselves. It's been a year. But then we also, and then like we covered like Wanda from Sandman last week pretty well. But there's so much has kind of happened in the last couple of years, and very rarely are we quite as, other than Amy, who knows all, are as good as at covering more recent, more modern stuff. And I think this is like such a good place to kind of celebrate some of these books that are a little more modern.
We're in such a cool time because, like, you can literally self-publish or, like, you can write the story that you want to see in the world right now. Like, there's so much opportunity, and it's so easy to spread a message. And I think people are hungry for that. I mean, our book was successful. Like, Batgirl was successful because people were, like, starving for something like that. And, like, all this different stuff coming out, I think people are starving for it, and that's why it's getting lifted up, and it's really cool.
Yeah. So we did spotlight a couple of, I think we all sort of circled like some picks that we would want to throw out. So we asked you for one that you might want to recommend. Do you want to tell the people what Snot Girl is?
Oh, yes. Snot Girl is...
It made me laugh because, yeah.
There's a volume 1 and 2
Oh,
cover
yeah.
in there if you want to.
Artist is Leslie Hung?
I can
that's how you say
find
it?
that out immediately.
I think
There
it's-
we go.
And then Scott Pilgrim writer, Brian Lee O'Malley is the writer, and I love her art. It's so good. I think she...
It's got such a wonderfully like it's vaguely manga without being. I mean, like it's hitting so many of the wonderful. Oh God, look at that.
Yeah, so she's a fashion blog. She's like a fashion blogger, and you pick up the story thinking it's going to be like maybe about her everyday, like cute girl, like maybe some drama, blah blah blah. But it gets real weird and horror.
Oh yeah, it gets really. I was like,
I remember when I picked it up, I was like, oh, it's gonna be this kind of story. Like
it was so cute. And she's got nicknames for everybody.
Yeah,
she's
she's
kind
like,
of she's a little vapid.
hot guy,
whatever.
like yeah.
Yeah, coffee life. Yeah, hashtag coffee life kind of shit.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
I mean,
it's
like
so hard to know what to say. How do you guys do it?
It takes it. She kind of crushes. She meets this girl kind of. It's not quite. I don't quite know what it is, but she just kind of gets
There's
weirdly.
an attraction. There's like just a drawnness
And
to her.
everything just goes very Hitchcock really quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Super weird, super dark. Like she has this. I mean, Snot Girl. She has really bad allergies. So I think a doctor, maybe, like gives her some medicine, and I think it like.
Makes her a little weird.
This might be my own personal take. I don't know what the real story is.
She does change her meds and everything gets weird.
She changes her meds and she gets these trippy visions and like, is it true? Who knows?
But like, yeah, the
dark
kind of,
stuff
kind of the weird running gag of hers is that she's constantly having like terrible allergic reactions
Yeah.
and anything. So like, she's like
And
taking these pictures and then
Snot Girl.
immediately going.
And the drawings are super fun and the fashion's super fun. So I think it's obvious why
Cute
I
girl
like
is evil.
recommend this book.
I think Cute Girl is evil. I think Cute Girl
I like
is.
that page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is such a here.
You've seen a couple pages in the beginning. The book opens with sort of her like Instagram perfect life, and then this page where
And
she's
then
just like
just
letting out all
fluid.
her negative emotions, being
Oh
like,
my
"This isn't
God.
the real me. You can't see this. No one can see this."
Yeah. It's like all the ugly stuff that, you don't want to like put out there and hide.
Oh God, it's such a there's so much good in this. And
That's a great page. That's
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this page for comic book storytelling.
That's so beautiful.
Where you've got a view, an object, and then like what's on the other end, and it's just sort of the way it lays out information and kind of takes you on a little journey just on this page.
I feel like that her stuff's very manga influenced too. That's a very manga thing.
Oh, very much. And the way that they kind of build the women in this book, they've all got a very unique and intense, and I love.
Had you guys read it before I suggested it? It's really fun, right?
I really enjoyed it. I read it.
Good. I'm glad I recommended a good one.
It kicked my butt. I loved it. I'm ready for more.
Volume 2's out.
I saw. I've got it. I put it on my.
Just let me know.
I will go into my Comixology later and purchase all the things. It's really fun. And again, maybe I don't know if maybe it's just because I know a lot of people in that world, and I do know a lot of people who.
Oh yeah.
Who are like very much why did you put that on Instagram on a Monday? You don't put anything on Instagram. What filter are you using for that? You have to have like 3 filters that you stick to, otherwise.
There are rules.
Oh my God.
I am told by people who reflect light professionally that there are rules, and I'm like, I don't know. I try and follow them. I try and do it.
It's a lot of work to make your life look that effortless.
Yeah, man,
a lot of work.
That should be the byline for that book. She isn't. I can't tell.
That's why
I don't even think she knows if she's a happy camper or not.
Yeah.
Goes from like wonderful to like full blown psychotic panics quickly.
I think what interests me a lot about it is it's also a reflection of like what we were trying to do on Batgirl. It's like social media and like what's the truth and like who can take advantage of that based on just like logging in and making a fake account or being a fake person.
It's so intense.
Reality versus what you're projecting as your own reality. I don't know. It's really cool.
There's normal girl, cute girl. I'm trying to remember.
Hot boy or hot guy.
Hot boy.
Hot boy.
Hot boy.
Yeah, she's got nicknames for everybody, which
I don't know about your group of friends, but we all do that. It's like a horrible thing you do.
I have nicknames. I have nicknames for subclasses of friends.
Yeah.
But they're never. They're usually not very stingy. There's.
The hot guy's not hot boy's not very stingy. That's
that's very complimentary. But there's definitely like anybody who's like way too into the Harajuku fashion. It's always the Sherbert kids.
The Sherbert kids.
There's just pastel everywhere. Good
Yeah.
God. Pink.
Yeah,
and
I've heard you say that before.
The Sherbert kids are
doing
doing
the Sherbert kids. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yes.
The mermaids.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
What's the mermaid? Cyber.
You've met some of the mermaids. That's like Vanessa. That's Vanessa Drew's one of the like any of the girls who've actually spent too much money on I say too much, except they're brilliant. On like artificial mermaid tails and then photograph themselves underwater with like.
You're not being metaphorical.
No.
Okay.
No, literally.
That's mermaids.
This is literally a thing.
That one's not very creative.
I'm trying to go for accuracy, but they also we have friends whose hobby is like photographing them and their friends in like insanely overproduced nouveau masterpieces. It's just like we're gonna get 500 flowers, pin them to a board, and then like drop dry ice on it and take photographs. And we're like, what are you doing with these? And they're like, nothing.
I can't argue with results, though. I follow Gina on Instagram.
Oh.
Our friend Gina is one of those, like, hello, I've walked by a wall. Masterpiece.
I know.
Like, how?
If I had the time, though, I would love to do that. That sounds so fun.
I meet so many wonderful people.
I know. I can't. LA.
I just have to get them to come down and visit for a minute. That was a fun read. Do you want to pitch anything?
I did. I threw a couple titles in there. I think that you guys got a chance to.
I read a couple of them.
Came out mostly things that came out over the course of the last year. I wanted to throw a shout out for a wonderful collection of a woman whose comic I've been reading online for a while. So it's not in Comixology, but I think I put in there Super Late Bloomer.
It was
an
that
Up
was
and
cute.
Out collection. Julia Kay is a webcomic artist, and she had been doing diary comics. And yes, she collected a run. You've seen these, right?
Yeah, from Instagram. But just I found it on my own on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw it just like on Twitter, but this year I think an actual collection came out. She put them together into a book, which is very exciting, that collects a lot of her experiences with gender transition. And that they are like, they're funny and they're inspiring and they're honest and there's a lot of like, there's good days and bad days. There's like,
it's such a cool, complex thing where you have these like very cute, simple cartoons telling these like very serious, dark, not dark, but
Sometimes,
like serious, sometimes dark stories. It's like
she can communicate with
brutally
like a
honest,
different
being
line
so
around
simple.
the eyes. Yeah.
3-panel, just so much happens in 3 panels in these, or sometimes just a single panel, and I'm like, and I had never heard of it before you were like, read this last night.
That is like such a different bone that I don't have to be like that honest and open. Like I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm like the Instagram where I just like do these hot girls, and like that is like a different. That's like so impressive to be like rip your heart and like, this is me, like this is my life and my experience. And I was like, what? Oh my
so
God,
much power in it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like people respond to it because it's like, I don't know, it's cool. It's really cool. Hopefully, maybe I'll be brave enough to do it one day. But it's brave. It's super duper crazy brave.
It's a fun read. It's a. I'm trying to like quantify it because it's because of the simple lines. It reminds me of so many ironic comics or very like tongue-in-cheek comics, and it goes there occasionally.
Yeah.
Or like those cute little like every now and then I just come across like just a piece of cartooning that's just brilliant. Like the I made this. I don't know if you know the here I made this for you, and they're like. I made this. It's like the creator.
Yes.
And like, there's a lot of moments in that book where I'm like, that's really clever and an interesting like little build that you made there.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's again so much with like simple lines telling so much story was great.
Absolutely. Like there is that paradoxical, like you can get a tremendous effect out of a very, I'm going to use the wrong art words, but like a very rendered image can have a big effect, and then a deliberately, apparently simple style, like your classic comic strip art, like Calvin and Hobbes, like things like that, that there can be so much power because then, especially the more time you spend with someone and their style, you recognize every sort of slight variation in the way they present the face.
Yeah.
And she can take you on these crazy emotional journeys by like lifting an eyebrow.
Like I think personally, like coming from an artist standpoint, like simplifying and be able to tell so much with less lines is more impressive than like over rendering something and adding like a million somethings on the page to like convey. I don't know. I just maybe because I do that and that comes easier to me, and it's like a security to be like, if I just make this as like over rendered as possible, I'll be more impressive. But she connects with people and she like shows her heart in this like really simple. I don't know. It's impressive.
Please check it out. She has a Patreon you can follow, and you can read her comics online, or you can pick up that collection, Super Late Bloomer. So that was one of my like really excited that
I didn't have time to read all the recs, and I'm so glad I knew of that one from Instagram.
We know a few.
I kind of sent that late too. I was just like, and this one, and this one.
Yeah.
One that we talked about a couple months ago. If you would like to have your heart melted, you might want to check out Bingo Love.
Yeah, that was wow, that was a lot. It was great, but wow, that was more than I was prepared for.
I think there's a cover in there.
Yeah.
We talked about it a couple months ago. It was a graphic novel that came out from Image. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
About two women who sort of knew each other in the 60s, went their separate ways, and the question of whether they will find each other again in a more open time. So just, you know, it's very cute and it's very fun, but I would recommend getting the handkerchief ready.
I was going to say, who does publish it? Is it?
It's Image Comics.
Oh, wow.
I think originally it came out on its own, and then Image did a collection of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Can't
I
tell.
should clarify. The one I have in paper is from Image Comics, but the journey it took to get there, I'm actually not super familiar with. T. Franklin wrote it. Jen St.
I think that is the case, though.
Yeah.
The art.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's so good. She's doing Nancy Drew right now.
Yeah,
I took that one home and I haven't read it yet.
I haven't read the Nancy Drew yet. No,
I
I'm very
really love her.
excited.
Like, I struggle with being so polished, and this is like one of her first comics, I think, and it's so polished. It's very impressive.
It does that interesting thing of being like wonderfully, like really embracing the animation quality of it, but like finding ways of just really.
Look at that page.
Yeah. Of just.
It's so cute.
It's super cute, and also it really does a good job of setting you in a time and in a place.
Yeah, the costuming.
A couple different times and places.
And then also really well, I'm going to find it really well rendered older people, which is not a thing you see in comic books very often.
Or movies. Or anything.
Or anything.
Or ever.
Romance, it's queer romance. It's queer romance with women of color.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
you're not wrong.
older women of color, all of which are things that we need more of. Like,
Yeah, like just great. It's just great fun.
they're so good.
Oh, yeah. This is like let's find some dynamic movement in a bingo game.
You know what this makes me think of? San Junipero.
It does. It's
I
got.
really need to watch that. You know what? The internet has told me I'm gonna like it very much.
It's
Amy.
Like
sweetheart.
none of Black Mirror?
I've been following Black Mirror without actually sitting down and watching it for like a really long time.
I understand.
Just sit down and watch San Junipero.
Just watch San Junipero.
Just watch.
Yeah.
Like,
It definitely has a lot of parallels into that direction. Like the story has a lot of parallels in the same.
I had to rewatch it without waiting for it to go horribly wrong. Because I feel
no,
like
it's a Black Mirror. You're like everything's gonna end badly.
Expecting it to go wrong like ruined that first watch of that episode for me, and I had to like rewatch it and just be like, it's gonna be fine.
Everything's gonna be fine.
Because like Black Mirror never ends where everything's fine. So like when they actually finally told like a nice story, you're just like sitting
I
waiting.
feel betrayed,
for,
but like.
Because they've done it
in the
where
right
like
way?
the last line in the show just like ruins everything.
You're waiting for the right
shatters
to
the whole, your whole world.
Charlie
It's
Brown
just like,
finally kicking the football and being like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
What's happened? No.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it. Like, he kicked the football. It's like, so Lucy...
And Lucy's just sitting there going, cool.
Good work. You hit the field goal.
Lucy was like, there is no football. And it's like, it disintegrates the whole world.
Matrix
and he's
is
like,
out.
yeah, exactly.
And it turns
That's
out they're in a
Black Mirror.
Garfield comic the whole time. And it's just like, oh, guys!
Wrapped in a Garfield.
John's like stuck in a coma and it's all inside his head. Like that's Black Mirror, just in case
Oh my
anyone wants to.
No, it was.
Have you ever read Garfield without Garfield?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes,
The
they're
best.
so
The
fucked.
best. Oh, so funny.
So sad. It's
What's Garfield without Garfield?
Oh no!
Oh, this is the
I
year.
do know. I'm doing that
okay.
thing
you're
right
doing
after.
it right now.
Sorry.
I was so
I love
excited.
Garfield without Garfield.
It's a series
those
of
of you who don't
comics.
know.
For those of you who don't know, online you can go Google Garfield without Garfield, and I can't remember the artist, but someone went through and took Garfield out of the Garfield comic, so it looks like John Arbuckle is just talking to himself, and it's
Sad, John.
so sad.
John Arbuckle is just not a happy camper.
No, it's so sad because he's talking to empty space, and you're just like, oh, this poor man.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, like, you just can hear the Hello Darkness, My Old Friend. It's just like every panel is lonely and empty.
Oh,
Sometimes
sometimes funny.
just blank panels. He'll just say something and then be two blank panels. You're like, oh my God.
Oh, this poor bleak man.
Again, simple line work,
Yeah.
simple story, powerful message.
Powerful.
Powerful.
Garfield without Garfield.
A couple other things that we threw in there just so I don't forget them.
Do you want to do they, them pronouns?
Sure, you can if you,
I mean,
you
like,
said you had a chance to look at it.
I did.
I'm so excited. This just came to shops like last week, week before, something like that.
I was gonna say I haven't heard of this one.
Oni Press put this out. They have an imprint called Limerence.
This is out of Oni.
Yeah,
Awesome.
out of Oni.
Are these the people that did the sex toy blog? Is that the same people?
So I think it's different creators, but they're also published by Limerence.
Okay.
So I think it's the same imprint at Oni, but they.
I can't remember the name of the sex toy one because I did read that one.
Joy Sex
Oh,
Toy?
Joy Sex
Oh,
Toy.
Joy Sex Toy. Yeah.
They're lovely people. I haven't met them, but they seem internet like lovely people. So let's see what the official title of this one is.
A quick and easy guide to they, them pronouns.
And I should have the cover up there. This is available for $7.99. They made it intentionally as cheap as possible so that you can get this and leave it everywhere for all of your friends forever, because it is exactly what it says on the tin.
It's great. It takes you through. It's got charts. It's just so nice. It's like done in a very conversational, super fun. It actually reminds me of the what was it? The Guide to Understanding Comics.
Oh yeah, Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics.
It's got a little bit of Scott McCloud's Understanding.
A little bit of that.
This
yeah.
page
And
made me laugh so hard.
So this made me super happy because I have been lecturing on translation versus adaptation in Japanese anime and manga for years.
Ooh.
Because I worked as a script adapter in manga and anime for like a decade. I've been turning anime into English, making the English animes.
Yeah, this is.
Who are you?
I thought you looked me up on IMDb. But yeah, so like I
got
used to.
distraction when I found out your name was Axelrod, and
know,
then I
I just,
lost
like,
it, and then
throw
I
everything.
didn't get past that.
There's some even worse names. I can hear you laughing, Liz.
Your name? What?
Producer Liz.
His middle name is Axelrod.
It's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found that out,
Did he- did he
and
just
then I
become-
just like I was like, oh my God, what?
No, you don't.
Well, yeah, your name is Liz. What a weird name. Liz. Liz.
So one of the things we always talked about is the notion of English as a living language and how like languages adapt, and also how complicated these rules are, how they metamorphose, and how English is a nightmare of a language. English is a giant clusterfuck mess.
Yeah.
We literally, there are rules that apply to words, and we're like, how did they come up with that rule? We're like, we have no idea. This happened sometime like in the prehistory of the Altaic language family, and maybe it just kind of happened.
There was a great vowel shift, and everybody panicked, and we kept it for the next 15 years.
It was like an old language rule that existed about like how you pluralize something that vanished. No one knows what the rule was anymore, but it applies to 6 words still, and we don't understand why. And it's
only those 6 words.
Only those 6 words, and in about 25 years, it'll only be 4 of those words because 3 of those words are going to change.
Yeah.
Like tenses. Tenses are like, we're losing irregular verbs. Like we lose like, what is it, like 15 to 20 irregular verbs a year? Like a ridiculous number of regular verbs.
Oh my God!
Die.
Let's make a PSA. Like, watch out for your little
Oh no!
regular
Like
verbs.
you are going to live to see the end of Delt.
Oh.
Delt is vanishing.
Dealed. People are gonna go with dealed.
Dealed me
Well,
in.
like, and there are entire languages that
Dealed. You'll hear, if you
disappearing.
hear like talk to a 19-year-old or like where they're playing Pokemon. Yeah, you dealed me in for another round.
Wow.
You'll hear it, and you'll be like, the little part of you will die inside, but you also realize it is the circle of life.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if you go back and read Shakespeare and then like romance literature
And he
and
was
like late
inventing
19th century
like,
literature, like
He
it's
was literally
all
inventing
changing
words.
all the time, yeah.
So.
And then like the Oxford English, like the creation of the dictionary where they're like inventing spelling rules because there've never been spelling rules.
No one ever had to agree on how to spell something.
Yeah,
before.
so like all of a sudden like now there's a standard for spelling? What the what?
This is a lot of context to say that they
say
them
that-
pronouns are actually really simple, but they've written a nice little guide so that if you have any questions, here's the best.
It's like doing sit-ups. It's going to be like weird and awkward for about 3 weeks, and then you're going to be like, this feels pretty good.
I'm okay with this. I can do this.
I'm at a 2-pack, but that might just be that I'm sitting down and kind of folding.
This comic
but it's
includes
good.
scripts for apologizing when you screw up, and they note that it's like you don't have to take it crazy far. Just be like, oh, my bad, that's right. Move on.
Yeah, it's been great to have a human being like Sam DeLove here, where you can, I mean, they are so like understanding and patient when it's like, hey, no, and then she did, right.
Thank
They,
you. Yeah.
thank you.
But there's also a great explanation in here of like what it feels like to be misgendered, and it's sort of it's a really well done comic here.
I learned a lot from it, and like I'm somebody who's always of the opinion I've learned everything I'm ever going to learn until I learn something new every day, which
Yeah.
is really irritating.
Why would you want to live if you'd already learned everything?
Which is why every day I'm delighted to find out that the world is bigger than I thought it was.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But this book is packed full of good information. It's got good exercises for just expanding yourself into a more modern vocabulary and starting to feel, and like tips and wonderful ways of just getting better at speaking 21st century English. It's quite nice.
I love their examples of language change, which is I think what you were pointing at before, where they were sort of like, and first of all, the non-binary pronouns, gender-neutral pronouns have there's a tremendously long history of using they for singular things. They don't really get into it in the book, but like it is not, while the like frequency of that usage might be changing now,
Been in and
it
out of
as a
fashion.
part of language is very, very old. But they do include wonderful like, in case that's a thing you wonder, like the language change, they're like, language changes over time. There's it's like we say doggos now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Dog versus
dogs.
doggos.
It was just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love like they throw like folks, guests, y'all, you all, friends, everyone, anyone, the person with that cool wolf shirt.
instead of
which-
the lady in that cool wolf shirt, the person in that
the
cool wolf shirt.
But of course, that would require a cool wolf shirt, which I
Oh,
suppose.
every wolf shirt is a cool wolf shirt.
Fair
I
enough.
said
Wolf.
Wolf.
Wolf shirt. The person in that cool wolf shirt also good.
Wolf shirt.
Also good.
A wolf shirt. You could do like the three wolves as wolves. That's easier to say.
No, I actually, just last week, somebody made a T-shirt, which I need to find again and order. But it's Worf, and Morn from DS9. It's the 3 Worf Morn.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've seen that one. It's amazing.
That's
It's
terrible.
amazing. I love it.
So yeah, this is a book. It was a fun read. I read it over iced tea.
And very informal, or informative. I read a few pages of it right before the show.
Again, heavy topic. Heavy serious topic with like simple drawings delivering it.
Comics are a great way to learn new things.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
And they put jokes in, which always
Put jokes
helps.
in. Jokes are great. Man, okay, and like I know we've touched a little bit. Like I'm a big fan of finding I definitely know that there's a
You've got
conversation.
Kim and Kim in there.
I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it's
I
so
pulled it up and I haven't read it yet.
Nice.
I know. I'm so.
By the way, someone in chat asked if
yeah.
the pronoun book is on Comixology, and yes, it
is.
That's where we found it, and
I have a paper copy, but I think I forgot to. It's in another room. But
so yeah, you can find it there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A quick and easy guide to they them pronouns.
And I know that superheroes. I definitely get the idea that representation in the superhero world is always. I don't want to quite say a mixed bag, but I get the notion that like it's fun to have some superhero comics that you can throw at a kid who's in the mood to see themselves reflected in comics.
Yeah.
The Iceman book was surprisingly fun.
Yes.
Did some delving. That was a good time.
My friend Kevin Wada did the covers.
That's a really
There's
fun.
some good.
The watercolor
good.
covers.
They're
Kevin Wada is
watercolor?
Oh man, no,
incredible.
look at this.
Please.
Oh, I love some good watercolor.
Look at that.
I
Let
mean,
me do it in a way you
he's
can see. There we are.
Really inspired by fashion, and I don't know. He's
Did
great.
he do the Wicked and Divine special fashion issue or
Yes.
that thing? I love that.
Where it's like a
issue so
magazine
much.
with editorials. He did those illustrations.
I like as much as it makes me sad that my favorite character in that book is such a trash fire of a human.
Aren't most of them in that book?
Yeah, I know, but like the minute the more I get every issue where I get to know more of Woden, I'm like, you're the worst. I can't believe I was going to cosplay you. You're awful. I hate you. Why are you wearing the best suit ever in that book? I want that suit, but you're awful.
When they dress good, but they're not good people.
Yeah.
But man, I want every outfit like that Woden and Persephone have. It's just all the best shit.
That's amazing.
It's the best. Every outfit in that book rocks my world.
So I put Iceman on the list partly because we get cool, exciting news, which was part of a slate of really interesting, neat stuff that Marvel has been publishing the last couple of years, which unfortunately it got canceled. It was written by Sana Grace, and I can't remember the interior artist's name.
I have buttons for that.
Fall Down?
Ba-dum-bum.
There's a few people.
Okay, they've had a few different art teams on there. Edgar Salazar and Ibrahim Roberson on the issue you are looking at. But Sana Grace has kind of been shepherding that project, and it went 2 volumes. It got canceled, but we just found out, like last week, the book is coming back this fall.
Oh, how exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Sana's back. Once again, failure of art cred. I should have written all this down. I cannot remember off the top of my head who is working on the next iteration, but grown-up Bobby Drake will be back to have more adventures in what, like, the version of his character that just makes more sense than it used to. We talked about this, I think, last year, but when they made the revelation that Bobby Drake was gay and just had been struggling to come to terms with it in the form of younger Bobby and time travel and shenanigans because comics, it was one of those things where different writers like Marjorie Liu said that she'd basically been driving in that direction when she was writing Astonishing X-Men, and it was one of those rare and wonderful cases where they took a long-term established character and established a new fact about him that your mileage may vary, but for a lot of readers like me, makes total sense. Fits his life, fits
That's
his
so
character.
cool. I
It
didn't know
reminds me of a
went back
couple
that far.
people I knew growing up where it was definitely like, you're trying way too hard and you're bad at it. And you're like finally, oh yeah, that's why you're trying way too
Because
hard.
real life is messy, and people don't always get things exactly right the first time out, and they take time to discover themselves, and that's okay. And and for that to then get to be reflected in his history, I think is really beautiful.
It's certainly. I love the way that it did kind of write in a very messy history for that character. He's always been kind of treated. I don't want to say poorly by writers, but it's like no one has ever allowed him to grow up.
Iceman?
Yeah. Bobby has always. I remember there was like I guess might have been one of those Astonishing X-Men where he's just sitting in England. He's like drinking a beer. And like being an obnoxious tourist, and they're all just like, "What is wrong with you? Why can't we not take you anywhere?" And I'm just like, "What is up? What is up? Why does no one?" And like that one time, Emma Frost got into his head, and suddenly he's the most powerful creature on earth. And you're like, somebody else has your powers for 10 minutes, and they're better than you are after like 10 years of X-Men
That's
training.
so interesting.
Like you aren't just so checked out.
With stuff about himself.
So checked out of yourself.
I gotta give superhero books more credit. I forget.
There's some good. Yeah.
Well,
don't
it's
worry.
a weird and messy process, and it's going to be like there's something sort of fundamentally crazy about like throwing hundreds of people at a character over time and then sort of seeing what you get at the end. But when it sort of works out, then it's like a bunch of people accidentally collaborated on this really interesting character. And like all of that converged so that Sign of Grace could come in, bring like real life perspective and write a rollicking superhero tale. And it makes me excited.
And anytime you can take a character and suddenly figure out what's happening, I'm always excited.
I remember I was on a panel and we were talking about Wonder Woman and how she's, or not Wonder Woman, Lois Lane, and how she's changed over the years and how she's like a reflection of females in over time, like reflection of what they were going through. So like around when Superman came out, you know, she was like super gung-ho and like women were like helping out planes and like out of the kitchen, and then she's like super badass and getting shit done and kicking ass and taking names, and then she got very obnoxious when they wanted ladies to go back into the kitchen, and Lois Lane, that was not her character.
She kind of Dorothy
like,
Parkered a little bit.
Yeah, and how, I don't know, it's just very interesting how like she is a reflection of like females over time, and like these stories are exactly what you're telling about, like this history of people telling these like characters over time. It's like
the way it reflects the writer, the way it reflects the era, and then when they hand it to the next sort of generation.
I wouldn't say this better than what I'm doing.
No,
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they did it. Whoever was on my panel with me did it. I think her name was also Barbara Kessler. I think she was telling it, and she was the one telling the story, and I remember blowing my mind, and I'm like, yes, like she is exactly the product of what was going on in history. You know, like, and it's neat to think like, oh, these are just comic books, but they are the reflection of like the reality of what is in the news and what people are going through and stuff. And these are little benchmarkers in history and time. And the fact that Iceman just like came out is just like, and also a reflection of what's going on right now.
I think it's Kessel or Kessel, Barbara Kessel. Is like she's a comic
It's like
lifer. She's a legend.
Kessel. Yeah, she's been around forever.
Kessel Run.
Bless you. Yeah, I know we're running a little low on time.
I think that was my list for today. I also
we have a question in chat that I wanted to ask you guys. Oh man, it's green. I can barely see it. Okay. Packed Magic asks, Taliesin and Amy, what were your experiences with queer comics growing up? What did they mean to you?
There weren't really when I was. They didn't. I was not.
I mean, the X-Men have always been code.
I mean,
yeah.
I figured that out pretty quick reading the X-Men, but I didn't get to comics until I was a teenager, so I was like already kind of like, oh, this is a metaphor, and it sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't, depending on whether or not the person writing it gets that it's a metaphor. So I was raised in an environment where like we critically analyzed every piece of writing we ever came in contact with.
Yeah.
Because that's what my family does.
Sailor Moon and Utena.
Sailor Moon and Utena.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's one of the reasons why I gravitated to manga so hard was I was feeling a lot more, I had a lot more of an identification with the Japanese books.
So biased, sorry guys.
Yeah,
No.
we're just on your side. It's okay.
Utena, I mean, like, Utena had a lot to, and like even discovering things like, I mean, like I was a little older by this point, like Ouran High School or like, or
it's so good.
We're getting more woos. That's inevitable. Yeah, the Japanese comics and Japanese manga had. I mean, like, believe me, Japanese comic books have their own hang-ups and they're intense and they're very real. But it's a completely different set. So especially as a Westerner, you can kind of ignore them for a long while because you will not pick up on them at all. For like probably you'll get a good 6 years before you're like, that's a little weird.
I love there's so much of it, and there's so many different stories, and there's huge sections just dedicated to like one genre or like one type of reader. And I remember like my favorite is Josai, which is not quite Sojo, which is kind of like name.
I don't know Josai.
Josai's like a little bit older romances.
Well,
so
throw some titles.
Tramps Like Us.
I don't know Trans Like Us.
Oh, it's my favorite manga in the
Oh,
world. You should check
shit.
it out.
Oh.
It's out of print. It's out
I'll
of
find
print,
it.
but you can probably find it out there right now. But it's really good. Have you read it
I haven't.
before? It's really good.
I will attack Mondo
The
Rocket if I
Japanese
have to.
name is Kimiwa Peto, and it's this 27-year-old woman, salary girl, basically, and she's in this really stressful job, and this guy who's like like totally under her. Breaks up with her, and she's dating him in a kind of safe way, and she finds this like homeless boy who is in a box, and she's like I don't know. So I'm telling a bad story, but you should pick it up. She like basically is like, "You're my pet now. I'll take care of you," or whatever. Like drunk things happen, and then he just kind of like stays around and doesn't leave, and then like they kind of like fall in love eventually, but like through a very trial and tribulation and like other characters coming in and breaking them up. But it's kind of heavier toned than. My first kiss, or like a high school, or like like a love triangle, or silly. Like it's heavy. It's like heavier subject matter.
It's drama.
Yeah, which I love. So Josai is like my favorite manga genre. And is there even a section like that in American comic books?
We're getting there.
We got bingo love.
Yeah.
we're finally. I think American comic books are finally having like an intense renaissance.
And
there's something for everyone.
Folks like this are out there, and I can dovetail that into like what I grew up on, which is that like I had Sailor Moon, which was early queer content. I had Ranma 1/2, which was mind expanding in several ways. Like if you are questioning gender presentation and other things, that book will help you out.
Bless Takahashi.
And and of course the X-Men were coded, and like weirdly, some things at the time, even people were trying to push it. I think one of the first gay characters I probably ran into was in like Gen 13 over at Image Comics.
The Enigma over at Vertigo was an intense, weird read for me. Enigma fucked me up. That's a very, I don't even know if it'll actually play anymore. I haven't read it in a long time, and I definitely know it's about like somebody who's really self-hating and's got a lot of issues. Kind of coming to terms with like weird sexuality issues, and it was written in like at peak Vertigo. It is a peak Vertigo book. So,
but as we talked about last week, Sandman for a lot of us was early representation of like
with Wanda.
It's of its time, but it also had like gay characters, just like they were normal all over the book.
Nana is a Josai. That's the genre.
Yeah.
Porter, you gotta come on the show. It's so much fun.
Or we should hang out.
Also want to throw out Drama by Raina Telgemeier. Had like a couple of great gay characters, and like the thing that I loved about the characters in that book, and the way that we're starting to treat characters, LGBTQ plus characters, are just they're just humans. We don't have to draw attention to it. It's a way of they exist.
I mean,
and that's fine, and that's great. And
teen romance movies coming out right now. They're just like, I have a crush on a boy.
Or even
great.
Cool.
As much as I love Sexy Jughead in Riverdale, and I do, believe me, I do. I love that in the comic books we get a Jughead who is asexual. Asexual Jughead. I am totally about. I love that we just have one issue where he's like, I think I'm sexually attracted to a cheeseburger, and then he finds out the cheeseburger is actually in fact a girl, and he's like, well, the romance is over, but you're cool.
So. I hate to bring the topic to a close, but we do have our 5-minute topic that we need to do. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
It's great. I promise. You're gonna have a great time.
The missing segue that I'm just going to throw in before I forget to say it is that Alison Bechdel, who wrote this wonderful book, which we're going to make the subject of a future episode, also did a long-running newspaper like strip that I read initially online called Dykes to Watch Out For, which is incredible.
There's also a musical, which we will talk about. Fun Home has actually got turned into a musical. It's a comic book that got turned into a musical.
That's well, it
And
breaks
bringing
your
it
heart.
back to Liam O'Brien. That's
you saw the musical with the keys.
I saw Liam rant about it on
Liam took us.
Christmas.
Liam
Signal
took us
Boost, which I wrote.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
So I watched that episode and then I found a pirated. Okay.
Yay!
All right. Do you want to do the introduction and then I'll read our question to you?
Okay.
Go
Are
for
we
it.
ready?
Yes, we're ready.
It is time for the 5-minute topic on the Wednesday Club, which you all have selected to challenge us to answer whatever nonsense this is about to be. This is the Wednesday Club. We are on Geek and Sundry, on twitch.tv/Geek and Sundry, and on Project Alpha. I am Amy Dallen. We have a very special guest today. It's Babs Tarr.
Bye.
Taliesin Jaffe.
And I'm Matt Key, and I'm going to read the question to you right now. It comes from Aramaya Fleiss. Hello, thank you. Topic: you get to have a dream date with a LGBTQ character of your choice. Who is your date, and what do you do?
Oh my God.
I'm not going Loki. It's too easy. It's too easy. Not going Loki.
So part of it is
I know my answer.
Oh, Babs is
do
ready.
it. Go.
Haruka from Sailor Moon, Sailor Uranus.
I feel that.
She's like tall, she's like beautiful, she's strong, she's kind of masculine.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite moments in Sailor Moon was like, she's like, doesn't know who she is yet, and she's like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And she gets like really close, and they're like gonna kiss maybe, and she just goes, "Doesn't matter." And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of hot."
Yeah. Yep, there we are.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right.
You guys,
What would
you
you
guys
do
are
on your
good.
date? What would you do on your
Yeah,
date?
what would you do?
Oh my gosh! So she drives
motorcycle
and has
I'm learning a
also
lot
a
about you.
hot car, and I feel like a drive would be really with like stars would be like. Really
Oh, I got
cute.
mine.
Go.
Honestly, I like. It kind of counts because he's an alien, so he's down for whatever. Marvel Boy. I love fucking Marvel Boy, and I love.
Say that
Yeah,
again.
say that again.
Um,
Marvel Boy.
No.
Never mind. We'll
Say
talk
it like
later.
I'm gonna
It's all
know.
good. It's all good.
Does
Just
Does
continue.
everyone know?
What did I do?
No, you said I love fucking Marvel.
Oh,
Boy.
I love Marvel Boy. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a
That's
whole
what you're
nother-
gonna do on your date.
That's a whole
It's
nother
okay.
Discord.
We have bleeps.
But bleeping. No, like, and like, I love a character who goes clubbing. I love going clubbing and going dancing is the best thing. And
You
like,
are very
I'm
good at
finding
it.
so
too.
I
much
love it.
about
Yeah,
Very
no,
good.
I'll fucking move. And like, yeah, and like anybody, it's like he's a good DJ.
Yeah, he's
kind
got
of
a
an
great taste
asshole.
in music.
Yeah. He's a little bit of a. He's a little
Yeah,
bit
you
of an
love
asshole.
it. We gotta love it.
Oh.
We're kind of a dick.
Yeah,
I-
think that.
I have mine.
Who's yours?
Very.
Wiccan.
You would. You
Of course I would. I love
Okay.
my magic. but here's the. I think he has like he's got a lot of like different sort of like mental health things that he would want to talk about, and like I love being like that sort of like very open, like very vulnerable, intimate, like conversation kind of. Like Brittany, my wife, loves to make fun. Not make fun, but like, yeah, sip your water. Like likes to talk about how like at parties I'm the guy who's like, no, you guys go have fun. I'm just gonna sit here, and if anyone wants to come talk, they can.
He's also a big Doctor Strange nerd, isn't he?
Well, he is kind of a
Yeah,
giant
yeah.
Doctor Strange.
You would just talk about Doctor Strange on your date with Wiccan.
Yeah, well, of course I would. What do you like? Tell me more about him.
Yeah.
No, I also think that he's just like a very sweet, lovely, like guy, and we would go have some really delicious coffee, and he would fly me all over the world, and we'd hold hands, and it would be great.
You do like the Disney Aladdin date. And
Yes,
Yeah.
we would. He would like enchant a carpet and just like fly me over the world, and
That
I'd
is
be.
a good date. Although
I'd be
if you break up Billy and
enchanted.
Teddy, we're all coming for you.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh no, I don't want to break him up. It's just a date, because like they had a fight, and he just needs some new perspective on things, and.
See, I was just gonna go with like you like win one of those charity auctions, and you're like
Oh, yeah, it
I might
could also be
necessarily
that.
get into it, but I'm down for the romance.
It could also be that.
I would be like charity auction winner somehow, and I would because that's the like it would be like, oh gosh, I guess we have to hang out, Wonder Woman.
Oh no.
And we would get ice cream. We would go to a park and we would watch like kids play, and she would rescue whoever had gotten attacked by a monster in said park, as inevitably happens when you attempt to do something relaxing with a superhero.
It's definitely Diana for you though. It's definitely.
It's my. I mean, I'm a
mean,
little biased
there's
by
a-
our
I feel that.
topic discussion
Yeah.
today and the wonderful original art we just saw. But like, I mean, that would be super, super fun. Or just hanging out with America Chavez.
Super.
Oh, man,
Oh,
America
good
Chavez
call,
is the
yeah.
best stuff. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's- there's the Young Avengers have
They've got it.
It's all of my theoretical dating potential.
Or, and this would end really badly, but like Persephone from Wick Give.
Oh man,
would-
yeah, that would.
But what a ride that would be.
It would be, I'd
Sorry,
be
is
like,
that
I've
too
never gone to.
Oh no, we're going there. I've already ruined everything.
Come on.
It'd be because on that one I'd be like, I don't know, I've never really been like clubbing, and she would be like, come with me, and it would be real fun.
underground.
Though, to be fair, you could also do that with Taliesin. I've never been clubbing, and then Taliesin would go,
And
come with
he would
me.
say that exact line right now.
He is a character from Wick Give.
Yeah, no, we're
To be fair,
we're
yeah.
going to a karaoke bar and sing My Chemical Romance very loudly.
If I was a boy, I want to choose the other gender
Yeah, no,
too. If I was a boy, Midnighter.
Oh, wait, really? I would be.
No. What date though? Where do you
Oh,
go
I
with
don't
Midnight?
know. I mean,
I know it's so obvious, but like
I would be terrified to go out with
I mean,
Midnighter.
No.
Like,
I feel like at
He could
the
show
very
you a
least,
good
I don't
time.
think we'd date, but I think we'd be friends. I'm gonna go there.
yeah, I would
wouldn't
love to
call it
be
a
friends with
date.
him.
No.
All right, that's it. We did it. We did it.
3 dates for Pride Month with the Wednesday Club. Thank you so much for that topic, Romeo Place. You can watch us every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Pacific on twitch.tv/Geek and Sundry and on Project Alpha. Thank you so much to our very special guest, Babs.
Beep, 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 Babs Tarr.
None of us picked Domino Swift or Lola because I feel like it would be unfair, but we're all thinking.
Okay, that's fair.
So we've got 3 minutes left. Next week we will be talking with Dan Casey about IP crossovers and Marvel vs. DC and the amalgam stuff, but also like Archie meets Punisher and fun stuff
the ice
like
cream
that.
sandwich, the ice cream and pickle sandwiches of comics.
There we go. Good stuff. And obviously we want to say a huge thank you to so weird! Comixology Originals, thank you so much for sponsoring our episode. Like we said, we use Comixology all the time, and
Check out Elephant Man 2261.
Yeah, I was just
or whatever year that is.
It's 2261, yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Nailed it.
The Death of Shorty.
You were a Valkyrie.
That's again Richard Starkings with art by Axel Medellin and Boo Cook. So go check that out this week.
But not right now because there's another show coming up.
Oh, what is that?
What other show is coming up?
We're gonna be on Weave. I don't know if we've announced. We have a super rad special guest coming in to run tonight. You know what? I think it was on the Twitter, so I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Rachel Seeley and Erica Fermina are joining us.
Yay! That's super
Rachel
cool.
will be running us through Click. I'm so
Really?
excited.
Oh.
It's the cool high school RPG set.
Oh, yeah.
One.
And a lot of people in chat were asking about my socks. No, they are not Weave. But they are cool. Like I do like these socks.
You
Brittany got me
boys
these socks.
Going
Yeah.
crazy where you can.
Yeah, this is as rainbow as I've got. So I tried.
Taliesin wants to live in the Chris Anka, Kevin Wada designed universe where men get awesome nerd fashion all the time.
Oh God, I'm working
Yeah,
on it.
we have a lot of T-shirts which are cool.
Thank you. Please send us your favorite Pride Month picks. This is so much fun to celebrate. I hope we get to do this every year and also just talk constantly about this stuff like we already do anyway. But it's nice to have an official time that we do that.
Yes.
Thank you all for the wonderful messages.
Thank you for
y'all
the
mean so
art.
much to us.
And
Thank you so much
check
for
out
being here.
Motocross.
Thank you guys for having me. It was really super duper fun.
Come back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Stay tuned for Weave.
Stay tuned for Weave.
Mwah, 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 mwah.